this morning? Can you guys hear me okay? I can't tell if we're coming through the, okay, it doesn't look like we're coming through the, it doesn't look like we're coming through, hold on a second, let me see about changing some things. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Okay, let's see about changing some things around here. Okay, we want to disable auto. No, we don't want to disable. Give me just a second while I set everything up. Okay, sorry guys, we have a new phone. We have a new phone, so I can turn it around. Boop, 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 boop. Look at that. And it has a pretty good camera. You know, I went ahead and bought me a bigger, more more secure tripod. So we're off, folks. We were going to be doing the we're going to be doing that later today, the show for Elena Moore. One of my mods reached out to me first thing this morning and basically told me we have a can you guys hear me? Just to make sure we can hear. Let's live chat. Good morning. Just give me a thumbs up saying you guys can hear me. Yes. Okay, perfect. I don't know how you guys are hearing me, but everything's kind of, this is a cheap phone, like a 40, I think I spent like $40 for it. And I'm like, I can record frontwards and backwards all in one stream on a $40 phone. And here I have an Apple phone that I spent thousands of dollars on, and I can't do that. So I'm already happy with the, I mean, you know, the Samsung that I broke, nothing will replace it. That was a Samsung Galaxy. That was a Samsung Galaxy S21 or 23. I think it was a 21, but either way, it was a very, very expensive phone. So to transfer to a $40 phone, and the $40 phone have pretty good image, I'm pleased with it. I honestly. All right, guys. So we're going to the place that we're going. There's a missing child that's in AIKEN, South Carolina, and that's 45 minutes away from my location. So we're going to go out there. I've got my press badge on. We're going to go out there and check out the scene. It's sad. I don't know if we're going to be able to help or not, to be honest with you, because they're not asking for searchers right now. So we're probably just going to be in the staging area where media is, and you know, we don't want to interfere in any type of media, you know, any type of investigation. So we're going to, here we go, 45 minutes. We're going on a road trip, folks.
Exit the parking lot toward Rockland Road.
Okay, we're gonna be let me turn this off. I can see it up here. I don't need it down here. We got the plug-in, auto, cancel. We'll do I don't know if you guys are hearing me from the camera from the you know, system here. Let me get a drink of water. I didn't have hardly anything. I swear, I look into these hotels and I make sure that they have, you know, breakfast. And I even look for certain things on their breakfast bar to make sure that they have the type of breakfast I will eat. I will not eat sugar, okay? Waffles is not breakfast to me, okay? Cereal is not breakfast to me. Biscuits and gravy, bacon and eggs, sausage, potatoes, those things are breakfast to me. Don't say you have a continental breakfast and all you have is sugar. That is not breakfast. That's disgusting. I didn't pay for that. Now, granted, it doesn't cost that much for biscuits and gravy. Biscuits are cheap, especially in a place like this. Gravy's out of the can. You can't get any better than that. It suits. Or just some freaking eggs, some powdered eggs in a bag. People eat that shit up. Anyways, I'm done with my complaining. Where's my sunglasses? We are off. We are officially off. We're going on a road trip. We are going to find a 4-year-old girl. So we're going to turn you guys around. You guys are going on a road trip with me. If you guys have any details of the case, please put it in the chat. Once we get to a stopping point, we will read chat. And everything like that. I'm happy we got a new phone. This phone should not overheat. I hate Apple phones because they're notorious for overheating. And when we broke our Samsung, I freaked out because there's no way I can deal with the overheating. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to kick us off. You're probably gonna have to listen to me. That means you guys are gonna hear everything, but I'm gonna have to put this through the system because I gotta be able to see what the hell I'm doing here, where the hell I'm going. And so you're just, yep, you're disconnecting. You're disconnecting. So now you're not coming through my system. You're coming through just the phone. So you guys can hear me. We don't have a whole lot going on in the car that it's so distractive that that you guys can hear. So hopefully we're not too shaky for you guys. So we got a new phone. We didn't spend very much money on it. I just want to let you guys know we will be buying a decent Samsung Galaxy. We're going to get a brand new Samsung Galaxy. It's going to cost us about $1,500. We're going to eventually get it. We're not getting it. We're probably going to get it in 2027 after the elections. I think I'll be able to afford it then, because right now I'm doing too much, and it makes it very difficult to do so much. Guys, we've got a little 4-year-old autistic child missing. We don't know what we're getting into. We don't want to assume the worst just yet. But once we get on ground and we start seeing what's going on out there, she might be found by the time we get out there. You know, right now she's been missing for about 8 hours. Very, very concerning. I haven't lost hope, because J.J. Rollins from Brooksville, if you guys want to check out that case. He was a boy, autistic boy, left his home. He was in the country. So he could literally be hurt, killed, maimed, anywhere. You know, but he wasn't. He was out in the wilderness. He was tired. He was exhausted. He was dehydrated. He was eaten up by a mess of mosquitoes and bugs. But he was okay. And he got to go home to his family. And it was a very, very happy day for everybody. We felt, you know, because it went from being very grim, you know, when we were searching in an area, I'm like, there's no way this boy's in this area. I knew in my heart and in my gut, if he got in that area, we were going to find him off a ravine somewhere dead. So I just knew he was not in that area. And somebody from the military that was out in our group, I mean, hundreds of people came out to help search. And it really pisses me off when we have young children like this that are missing, and they tell you, please don't come out and search. I can't stand law enforcement that does that. I can't stand it. In Florida, we welcome people. We have a system in place to bring in volunteers, individual volunteers. We did it with J.J. Rollins. It was a very organized event, and we brought a child home, and guess what? It wasn't law enforcement that found him. It was one of the searchers that found him. One of the private volunteer searchers, us, the public, that found that little boy. So when I hear of children missing, and I hear law enforcement saying, please don't volunteer, please stay out of the area, it really pisses me off, because it's not about law enforcement. It's not about the investigation. Now, if there's details where they believe that the parents are involved in the disappearance and or death of a child, then we keep the public out. If those are not the details, and you have no reason to believe that this child has been injured by their parents, it is all hands on deck. You look at every little nook and cranny for a child, especially one that's autistic. So we're in a situation where I'm not going to be, you know, careening or beating over the head Aiken County Sheriff, but we are in a situation where South Carolina is asking people, please do not volunteer. Please do not go out there. I want to remind everybody, we do respect law enforcement, but law enforcement does not dictate to us what we can and cannot do. The law does, okay? We show law enforcement respect when we're out here if we so choose. There may be times that I choose not to take their suggestion, because that's exactly what it is, a suggestion. They can't prevent me from going out. They can't prevent me from the only thing that they can prevent me from doing is crossing a yellow line. That is unlawful. Anything else is within my rights, and it's within anybody's rights. But again, we are not trying to interfere with an investigation. I'm only informing people of the law and what their rights are. So that's all I'm trying to do. It is the position of the Bullhorn Betty channel. When we can comply with law enforcement, we will comply with law enforcement. If it's something that we do not want to comply with, duty for us to comply with, we will not comply. It is up to our discretion unless we are given a lawful order. Even an unlawful order we might challenge in a different motivation than obviously going to jail. We might challenge it in a complaint, in a DA complaint, and other things like that. We're very hopeful that this 4-year-old that we are going out to cover, we're praying to God that she is safe and sound, that she just had, wandered off. We hope that she did not wind up in a pond. That is big. That's my biggest concern out here in South Carolina. There's a lot of spread out homes. It's more country in South Carolina than any place, the normal places, right? And so we've got a situation where she could be in a pond. There's ponds on a lot of properties in South Carolina. I can tell you, J.J. Rollins, just going off my experience with J.J. Rollins, he was, how old was he? Somebody in chat might want to check, but I think he was between 2 and 4 years old. Just a tiny little guy. Cute as a button. Good gracious, that boy was just a handsome little feller. And he was about 2 miles away from his home by the time the searchers got to him. 2 miles. And that was in a 24, I want to say 36 hours. In 36 hours, the boy got about 2 miles, and granted, we don't know how children, run. Some might run a little faster, some might tuck her out, some might sit down and play with something. You really don't know what's going to distract them, what's going to slow them down. So this child may be within a half a mile of her home or a mile of her home. We're not going in here with the lens of, somebody did something to this child. We're far from that. We're not involving ourselves in this case because we think a parent or this child has met with foul play. The reason why we're putting our channel on this case is because this is a 4-year-old child. A 4-year-old child that needs to be found and brought home to her mother. And if we can bring some awareness in the South Carolina region, we definitely want to do that for this little baby. One of the biggest problems we have is children not being found. Unfortunately, I'd rather have a deceased child than a child not being found. You know what I'm saying? At least we do have some semblance when we find the child. There's no, we don't have a situation of a Seth Rogers where, he's waiting for years and years and years just to find out, where his son is. It's okay, breaking. It's not as heartbreaking as having no idea what happened. That where everything in the sun is running through your brain. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you guys. It is beautiful here in South Carolina, as you guys can see. It's 7:34 in the morning, and we are heading to Aiken, South Carolina. We're taking a detour off of our planned case, which was Elena Moore, and we went out. I've got some stuff that's being sent to me. I'm trying to send stuff off the broken phone. I'm having a hell of a time getting the footage off the broken phone. It might have to wait until we get back to the house, but I do have some footage on my Samsung, and we will definitely start producing some videos on that. With relation to Elena Moore's case, there are definitely some things that I have a lot of questions about. This is not as cut and dry as many would have hoped. And I'm not ready to beat up the husband just yet. I know people have already jumped on the bandwagon of beating up the husband. There may be a J.P. Miller type of scenario here with relation to the, in relation to the case. But as far as him physically injuring her to the point of death, sure, I agree with that, because there's no injury on her body. They found her, and there was this horrible relation between them. He's injuring her. You would think that her body would have sustained some type of injury, bruising. Anytime you have a physical fight with your significant other, you have bruises on your forearms, because you're pushing back. So your fingers, your knuckles, your forearms, all those areas typically tend to get bruised. There's some type of abrasion, contusion, some type of visible signs of an altercation if you're having a physical altercation with someone, anybody. It doesn't really matter who they are. The bottom line is if you're having a physical altercation, that means you are putting your hands on each other. There's going to be signs of that. And according to the ME, there were no signs of that. Now, she was acting very disassociated from reality. She did appear to have some type of psychosis where she was disassociated, maybe hallucinating, confused. And that does make me question her mentality, especially in light of her husband saying that she was ill. She was very ill, and people didn't know how ill she was. He ultimately removed that post about his wife, and he probably did that because he felt that it was disrespectful. And sometimes you want to tell the world what's going on, but you're afraid it's going to sully the image of your loved one. So you kind of struggle with some things in silence. And I'm not, people don't know what he went through. Could he have lost his cool because he was dealing with her mental illness? It's very possible, folks. We don't know what's going on in this family, and it's so easy to blame a husband. But what if he was a great husband dealing with an extraordinary information? What if he married her in an effort to get her on insurance so he could take care of her better? I mean, we really don't know. But when people love somebody, they love somebody, even if they're sick. Many people truly do get married till death do you part, and that means that they deal with all the nuances in life, all the struggles that they have with their loved ones. So, yeah, we're hearing all of these things from the friends, but what if in her sickness she was embellishing a lot of things that weren't necessarily accurate, but because of her disassociated mind and her hallucinations, she thought these things were happening. I talked very little bit about this, but me and my ex-husband brought in his stepson. His daughter's mom had twins when they got together. They were about 6 months old when him and his daughter's mom got together, and so he raised the children as his own. And the boy twin ended up having some major psychological issues, and he was schizophrenic among many other things. And he would just start screaming, and there's been times he would run down the road butt-ass naked, and we had to deal with that. And I finally just told my husband, I can't do it. I don't have what it takes to deal with something like this. This is so unnerving. It gave me such anxiety. I was physically getting sick over, what do we do? And this was not my kid. I wasn't trying to be rude or mean or anything. I couldn't handle it. I'm not going to lie. I know my limits, and if it makes me a bad person, it makes me a bad person. But I could not deal with that. I couldn't live with it. But there was times we would be sleeping in the middle of the night, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, he would start screaming that somebody was, in his room, R-ing him. And we'd go in there and there was nobody there. I mean, it was insane. And he was so believed, like when he was talking to us, he believed somebody was violating him in his bed. There was nobody there. There was nobody in my house. So, could she, in this disassociated, sense, Could she theoretically or technically be thinking that these things are happening when they're not? Depending on how sick she is, yeah, it's possible, folks. His past MDMA investigation, internal investigation, that particular drug would, everything that we're exhibiting in this lady, you know, the week before all this happened, could be explained by that specific drug if she was taking it. So I've got a lot of questions, folks, when it comes to Elena Moore. Like, why did she go to the CVS? Usually people go to the CVS when they're released from a facility because they have a prescription that they need to drop off and they need to get it filled up. So did she stick around at CVS for an hour to get a prescription filled up? And if so, what was her prescription? And how did it affect her? Did she take it? Did she take it and then lose her stuff? I mean, the facility, if this was a mental health facility, and they literally dropped her off and she never made it home and she literally died from heat exhaustion, I have a funny feeling that facility is going to be on the hook financially for what happened to this lady, not Brandon, that facility. So I'm still, I got my ears perked up as to what that's all about. You know what I mean? So turn this back on so I don't miss anything. It looks like we're about to be turning on a road here in 16 minutes. So we have some, you know, I have some questions about this little girl that we're going to see. And her name is, give me just a second. I want to say it's like Javeayha. I think it's Javeayha. Javeayha, not Janaya. I was like, we do have a Janaya missing. This is a Javeayha. Javeayha Harris is the little girl's name, Javeayha Harris. And she's been missing. She's been missing from her area now for over 24 hours. She was reported missing Tuesday, January 30th, so just yesterday. Hey guys, welcome in. We're on a road trip. We are here for the Elena Moore case, but this morning one of my mods sent me a missing 4-year-old girl out of Aiken, South Carolina. So we figured we would go out here to Aiken, South Carolina, see if we can get some attention drawn to this case. I bought a shirt because I realized all I have is tank tops with me because I'm going to be out in DC and I didn't want to be all hot and icky, so I brought a bunch of tank tops with me. And tank tops are not necessarily the most appropriate to be out covering a case in, but guess what, we're in freaking a tank top, so it is what it is. It's not like we are the most professional, you know, boots on the ground crew in the world. I mean, but we get the job done. We get the job done. We're going to go and see what we can find out. I think the first thing that we're going to try to do is just confirm the details of this case. And just get a lay of the land. You know, sometimes that lay of the land can really help focus us because she's 4 years old, so she has the ability to wander much further than a 2-year-old. So she's nonverbal from what they say, so we're not even going to be able to call her and her call back, which is so frustrating to me, but it is what it is. See, I'm in a tank top, not professional. We got a new phone. I'm thankful for the new phone. I'm thankful that we have the abilities that we had with our more expensive phone. And it's working. It's a little slower than what I'd like, but you know, I mean, it's working. I got no bitches about it, you know. So I just wanted to say hi for all the people that are coming in. We're on a road trip. We're going to check out this beautiful little girl, 4 years old, wandered out of her home allegedly yesterday at some point. They've been searching for her. I mean, we're like in the 10th or 12th hour right now of searching, maybe even longer. Brett Buffington, which I haven't seen since Quentin Simon, is running this case here in South Carolina. Very interested if I'm going to see Brett Buffington. I look like pure shit today. So if I do run into Brett Buffington, hopefully he still remembers me from when, because I didn't even put a stick of makeup on because we're an hour away from this. I had to go and stop and get freaking tripods and phones and shit like that because I broke a freaking phone. And so we got a new phone. I'm going to see about getting the screen fixed. I'm sure for the time being, just getting the screen fixed might be just a quick fix for the Samsung. So at least we have the Samsung. The Samsung's a great quality phone. I just hate to lose that Samsung. I really do. But either way, we got another phone. The phone's working great. We're heading out to this little 4-year-old. It's all hands on deck. If anybody knows or sees anything, if anybody wants to come out. They're saying that they don't want the public in the area searching for her. I totally disagree with that. We can't be inside, cordoned off area, but if you do search, you can search. I mean, they can't stop you from searching. They can only stop you from going into a crime scene. But we are American citizens, and our government can't restrict our movements. I mean, within discretion, they can restrict certain things. Like I said, they can put crime scene tape up and keep us out. But other than that, that's to the authority that they have. So we're not going there to stop, cause problems or get out there to have a search. But I do have my boots on. I did decide to put my boots. I'm glad I brought my boots. I wasn't only going to wear flip-flops and tennis shoes. So I do have some boots. And I've got my leggings and my tank tops. I mean, we're ready to search if we needed to search. But I was reading some stuff, and they're asking for the public not to search. That if you want to search your house. Again, I disagree with that. I'm going to always say that when we have missing children that are lost in the freaking woods, we do not prevent people from helping out in that. I mean, at least we don't in Florida, and our kids are found fairly quickly. I'm just saying. Just want to put that out to law enforcement. Around this country, we were able, within 2.5 hours, we were able to bring J.J. Rollins home. We had hundreds of volunteers, and that was quite the production for law enforcement to navigate. But they were able to. They gave you some crime scene tape to put around your leg. You had to have your driver's license, and you had to come in and check in. They took your name. They had you set up a walk whatever path on your phone so they could monitor you. That's it. And they were able to monitor everybody. They cattled them into an area to search, a several mile area to search. They corralled them, all the volunteers, in this several mile an hour. A couple of the volunteers broke away from the rest of the pack, and they went and searched just another area that he had a hunch to search. All right, it just seemed like you guys lost me, and it looks like we should have good internet. So I saw people just, dropping off here, and I didn't know if you guys couldn't see me anymore, if we stopped talking, or if it cut off or something like that. It should be good. We should be really good. Let me know if you guys can hear me. There you are. Oh, okay, so I was missing. Okay, so I couldn't see. Mods, if I disappear, sometimes it doesn't tell me I disappear. Can you let me know on text message, because I got my phone next to the phone I'm running on. Can you guys let me know in text message that I dropped and you guys don't see me? I can usually tell because the number starts shrinking, and it's going to pop off a little bit here and there. Because we're in backwoods and we're trying to keep this going. Typically when we're on the road, our phones shut off because they're overheating. That's why it was so important to have another phone. But I really like this phone. I got to be honest with you. For $40, it's great. I mean, you can't miss it. Okay, so we're getting off in about a half a mile here. Wire Road is where we're getting off of right now. We're about 18 minutes out to the location of where this little girl disappeared from. I don't know where the staging is. We might have to drive around and see what's going on here. And of course, we're out early enough today that we still can get, all the stuff for Elena done on the way back, so you guys won't lose the Elena content either.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
It's quite perplexing, I will be honest with you.
Turn left onto State Highway 49, Wire Road.
Okay. Guys, we're in the backwoods. Like, we're going to Beaver Dam Road. Beaver Dam Road. If we're able to have internet back here, we're gonna be doing good. Like, this is like, let me show you. Like, we're backwoods, folks. Like, it's backwoods back here. Like, we're in the country. I am surprised that we got internet all the way back here. I'm surprised we're even rolling. You know, I wish I would have known we were down. I did not know we were down. I noticed that we only had like 68 people, and I'm like, yeah, even on a bad day, we're not driving down a road. We're never going to just have 68 people, you know? So I knew that there was something wrong with the system. But yeah, gorgeous, huh? Look how gorgeous this ride is, though. But we might, guys, depending on where we are, we might lose internet out here. I'm getting kind of nervous, you know. It makes me wonder where she was staying, but we're heading there. We're about 7-8 miles, about 8 minutes or so away from our next turn. But what a gorgeous little slice of paradise South Carolina is. It's so hard for me to see all of this nature and all of this open spaces and think of bad things happening, you know. It's like people's lives should be so peaceful and serene out here, and you know, you still have crime, you know. You still have crime. I can't tell if that's wheat or corn. I think that's corn. Is that corn? That looks like corn. Yeah, it's corn. Those cornfields. I remember Idaho. Good gracious, when we were up there looking for little Michael Monkey Vaughn. There were cornfields right across the street from his house. And you're swallowed up. Ooh, I gotta sneeze. Ooh. Excuse me, guys. I didn't mean to sneeze on you. My allergies. I didn't bring any allergy. I forgot to even take my vitamins. I got this at like 5 or 6 o'clock, and I'm like, crap. I went downstairs to get some breakfast, and there was nothing but sugar there for eating, and I'm not eating sugar first thing in the morning. That would kill me. I would be sick today if I did that. Like, this heat, I'd be throwing up. I can't have that sugar on my belly. Ooh, look at that old cemetery. Oh my gosh, it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of cool. Look at this, how pretty. They're not like canopy roads because these are like oak trees, but it's like a canopy, you know, covered trees. Oh, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. I don't know. I just, you know, a lot of the houses here, though, are trailers. I'd like a house, you know, concrete block house. This would be beautiful. Beautiful area. But I just don't see how people can be so, you know, how bad things can happen in such beautiful places, but they do. They do. How are we doing? Okay, it looks like we're doing good. For those that are coming in, we're heading to a little 4-year-old. A 4-year-old went missing. We don't know what happened to her. They're searching for her. She's nonverbal, autistic child. You know, seeing this much foliage out here and dense brush and trees and landscape, it's a little scary to think a little girl is somewhere out here in the middle of nowhere, you know. And we know that the little 4-year-old autistic children, she's probably not, you know, there's not a lot of people in South Carolina that swim regularly. So I don't know if she would have learned to swim And we know that autistic children, whether it's because it's shiny or movie or, they can see the reflection in it, children really gravitate toward water. And many of them are found in water. I do believe that there are a portion of autistic children that are abused. I believe that the crimes are hidden by water. I do. Now, again, I don't want to sully this family because I don't know, we don't know anything about this family. I don't want to ever imply that they had something to do with their child, because there are people like, the E's that absolutely love their children, and just things do happen. We had Mama Bear of 10, she comes in our chat. She watches a lot from the bushes, and she expressed some things that had happened to one of her children that had come to stay with her, and she had fallen into the pool, and it triggered the Department of Children and Family Services to come over, to do an investigation to make sure it wasn't abuse, right? Because they had to have, law enforcement, everything that comes with a child falling in the pool, the ambulance, the fire trucks, the whatever. But, she's a loving mother, would never injure her kids. That Department of Children and Family Services case was closed, but still, you hear horrible things about foster parents and all these other things, but then you have a beautiful soul like Mama Bear of 10 that really provides a loving home for disadvantaged or disabled young children, and she loves those children. So you never want to, even though there are things, you never want to paint with such a broad brush. You never want to paint with such a broad brush. But this right here, like, we're 11 minutes out, and if she's anywhere around an area like Brooksville, though, folks, it really does. It does look a lot like Brooksville when J.J. Rollins disappeared. So it obviously we were associated with a search that ended very well. I'm hopeful that we have the same conclusion. Has anybody searched to see about this case? Is this child still missing? Because I believe the child's still missing. I checked this morning and did as much research on the information. There's not a whole lot of information about her outside of who she is and where she disappeared from. Information about her family, who her family is, what the details of this situation, all the stuff that we typically get in a news article are all missing. So I have no earthly idea what we're walking into, what law enforcement believes, if they're, just diligently trying to find this poor precious baby. We hope that they find this poor precious baby alive, because, we always have the fear when a child is gone overnight that, and we're talking about South Carolina here. We're talking about bears, coyotes, snakes. We have Florida panthers in Brooksville, and, those types of things we're always worried about. But, JJ was eaten up and whimpery and thirsty, but he was alive. And then he got to go home with his family. So maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get lucky. So we're about 9 minutes out of our location. Nothing worse than having missing children. I gotta tell you, there's just nothing worse than missing children. I hate missing children cases because I hate knowing that little children can get hurt and, not even be able to have an opportunity to a life. And, when you look at, there's so many more advancements this day and age in autism. And just like Mr. and Mrs. E, Big E was never supposed to speak. He speaks. He talks and he formulates sentences and he knows who mom is and he knows who dad is, you know? So it's...
At the next stop sign, turn right.
You just never know.
At the stop sign, turn right onto State Highway 207.
I believe that there will eventually be a cure to autism. Forward to counter autism as it is. It's something, I think there's something in your brain that's depleted or short wired. If, you know, because I was talking to people and they said, you know, whenever the vaccines were getting up, we're back, guys, we're back. We're going in and out of internet. So, guys, this is part of the travels. We go in and out and we'll be dropping, but it should be back up within a matter of minutes or seconds versus minutes. So just bear with me, folks. We are kind of in the backwoods here of Georgia, South Carolina, rather. We're in Aiken, South Carolina. Aiken, South Carolina. Javeayha Harris, 4-year-old, nonverbal, autistic child, is missing. Nobody knows where she's at. It sounds like she got away from her family. And now we are on a hunt for this little girl. From my understanding and every bit of research I've done, law enforcement is asking the public, please do not search. If you live in the area, check your surveillance.
At the stop sign, turn left onto US 1 South.
Check your surveillance photos. Check your property. Check all your outbuildings. Check any place that a little child, 4-year-old child, tiny little thing, you know, something that comes up to maybe your knees, can curl up and go into. Remember, if she's a nonverbal autistic child, she's scared. She doesn't know what's going on. She most likely could be in a dark cubby in a fetal position. So you're talking about something that can get really, really, really tiny, you know? So check areas. If you are in Aiken, South Carolina, if you're in this specific area of Aiken, South Carolina, please check your property lines. This child could be anywhere. Guys, we are officially 6 minutes church. This so reminds me of Brooksville. It really does. I wish they'd have more people out here searching. Oh, good gracious, I do. We'll start getting out here. If they're not out here, we'll start figuring out where the media is set up out here. Oh, good gracious. Look at all this dense. This little girl could have crawled up under anything to hide. This did not make me feel good. I mean, we're still about 3 miles out, but she literally could be anywhere. Hello guys, come on in. We are on the search for Javeayha Harris, little 4-year-old autistic, non-verbal, missing child. We got notified today that there was a missing child from last night, from yesterday, about an hour from where we are. So we figured we'd come out here, see what we could check out, if anything's going on. And then we'll head back to the area, the Lexington area, to continue our coverage of Elena Moore. But until Elena Moore, we get back to Elena Moore, we are going to find out what we can about Javeayha Harris. You know, where she is, you know, what we can learn. I just get so, look at that. Welcome to Reynolds Pond. We're 1.6 miles away from this, and we have a Reynolds Pond. So where is Reynolds Pond? Let's go check that out. Where is Reynolds Pond? Active material minerals. Is there toxic crap around here too? Wonder if they got some phosphate mining going on around here. One thing I'm not worried about is this, you know, this area here. I mean, I guess we could always worry about an abduction, you know, but with her being nonverbal autistic, she wouldn't be able to speak out, you know, if her mom or dad's calling her. Are we still doing good? Oh, looks like we're still doing good. Wow. All right, we're about 2 minutes out, 1.1 miles. Just, this is not looking good. Wow, look at all of this dense foliage. This is gonna be a nightmare to try to find this little girl. This is gonna be a freaking nightmare. Guys, you guys don't know. You don't know how dense this foliage and air. It's like a freaking forest here. I see cops. This must be it.
Turn left onto State Highway 1071, Pipeline Road.
This must be it. I'm gonna have to go up here and talk to law enforcement and find out where we can set up, where media is staging at.
Continue for 2 miles.
And we've got barns. Oh my gosh, guys, we'll have to turn around and go back the other way. We can have a road up here where we can turn it on. I don't like going into people's driveways if at all possible. Emily. Ooh, I don't like dirt roads. No, it's a private road anyway. I just need to find a place to turn around. This will get up here. I gotta find out. Here we go. Is this another private road? There's a lot of private roads here, and I don't want to. I just want to turn around. Let's find out where media is staging.
State Highway 1071, then turn left onto State Highway 1071. In half a mile, turn right onto Oakwood Drive.
Okay, what does it say? Betty, they are staged up at the Bethel Baptist Church. Who's that? Okay, Bethel Baptist Church. Let me speak to them. Because I'm not from here, so we'll get somebody on the record here. Let me just pull over here and see what we can find out. It looks like they're giving tickets to people. Maybe not here. Hold on. Give me just a second. Let me go see if I can speak to them. Okay, so you're right. Bethel Church. Why isn't this turning off? Oh, did I hit the wrong button? That's why. Okay. So Bethel Church. We got to go to Bethel Church. They said it's right up here. They're just writing tickets. Apparently something happened here. I don't know what, but they said we just need to go across this way. Up. Now he's got like standing right in the middle of the road. Okay, thank you. So we got a lot of different things going on here. I don't know if they're checking cars, which is a little odd, but that's a lot of activity right there at the road that we're going through, you know.
Turn right onto Oakwood Drive. Then you'll take your first left onto Hillsborough Street.
Where's Bethel Church? They said straight this way to Bethel. Let me just go up to Let me just go up just a little bit further and see where, because he said it was Pipeline in Bethel. So I don't want to, again, I don't want to have any problems with law enforcement. We want to make sure we're following the rules. Yeah, I'm not liking this area at all for a little girl. Oh, dear goodness. Oh, dear goodness. Oh, we got a rancher. We got people on horseback. We got people on horseback. People are on horseback, folks. We got people on horseback here. So they're searching for her on horseback. Okay, where the hell is Bethel? I may have to stop and put Bethel Church. They're saying go to Reynolds Pond. We will go to Reynolds Pond once I find the staging. I need to find, there's Bethel Church. Okay, here's the staging area where you just got to the staging area for media.
Go past Wishing Well Lane and turn left onto White Heron Circle.
Okay. This is the staging area for media?
Are you with media?
Yeah, I'm independent.
Okay, well, man, we still have, you have in your trunk and stuff. I mean, this.
I'm only gonna be setting up a small tripod in one of the. I'm not gonna be pulling out any equipment. I'm independent journalism, so we don't have a whole lot of big equipment with me. Just some cameras to take photos, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna even be able to get back there and take photos. So.
Okay, well, I mean, I understand that, but you may want to go speak with our command staff before anything. But I understand what you're here for. But by chance, can you pop your trunk for me? We're looking for a 4-year-old.
Oh, absolutely,
yes,
absolutely. Hold on a second. You're just probably just gonna have to lift it all up, but there's.
Okay. No, it's okay.
Okay, good. They are searching. I thought they were doing. Guys, we're getting searched for a little 4-year-old. This is. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your service.
Yes, I guess just turn in where you see those cars at and find a guy in a black shirt.
Okay, thank you so much. Kind regards. Okay, black shirt. Where can we go and park? Black shirt. Okay.
Turn left onto White Heron Circle.
Where do we go? I guess we're going to be backing up here. Go back. I guess we're going to have to go up here. Oh, this is a real organization here. Some major shit. Let me see if I can get up here. Hold on. Hopefully I'm not doing anything wrong. I hope not. Okay, got it. Guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can stay here. All right, guys, we have the right place, so I'm going to be setting up. I think I'm going to leave you guys in here just for a second until I get set up. But this looks like the place that we are going to be setting up at for this. They're not letting us back. As you guys saw, we are getting searched. Everybody that comes through this area is being searched. So they're taking no chances with this little 4-year-old girl. Yes, she's missing, but with them searching my vehicle, there's no possibility of me actually thinking that they believe this child is just run away, that they're taking all precautions necessary, checking vehicles and everything, just in anticipation that she might have been kidnapped. We don't know what happened to her. So very thankful for law enforcement out here doing the work that they are doing. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to get my whole entire tripod, the new tripod we just bought, out while we get this. Okay, there we go. So it seems like they are nervous out here. I can see it on their faces. They're very, very concerned for this child, this 4-year-old child. So we're going to go get set up and we'll just monitor the situation the best we can. I don't know what's going to transpire here, folks. So we're going to do the best coverage we can. We have little to no information. So let me go ahead and get my tripod set up, and then we'll come back in here and we'll get you guys, and then we'll get our battery power set up. It looks like we're going to be here for a little bit. So just bear with me, guys. Hello. If you guys, let me turn this around. Hi, guys. Bullhorn Betty. As you can see, I am probably about as rough as I think I can possibly be. Job, because we got this news that this 4-year-old girl was missing, and we literally jumped out of bed and started getting all this stuff. We had to go to Walmart. We had to buy a new tripod so we don't have a situation where my tripod's falling over because of a wind. We need something a little more sturdy. This is what we used to always use, but I left mine at the house. Don't ask me why. But this is what I love about it, because it comes with the arm for the phone. So we're going to be out here. Let me go get this set up, find out where we can stand. I bought another shirt, even though it's a tank top, but it looks a little more professional than the black tank top that I'm currently wearing. So that's I wanted to look somewhat professional. You know, I don't want to be out here looking like a scrub, even though I don't have any not a stick of makeup on. Good gracious, Andra. Not a stick of makeup, but we'll put a nice little shirt on so we can be, this was not our plans. This was not our plans at all. So we got our shirt, our work. Oh shit, I gotta take this off. All right, guys, we got at least a different tank top on. At least it looks a little bit better than the one we have. And then, of course, I've got the cameras. I brought the cameras all with me, but, you know, I can't get the cameras out because we don't have anything to take a picture of yet. guys, give me just a second. We're almost through what we need to get through. All right. Oh, I need my backpack. All right, guys, I'm gonna plug you guys in just a second. Give me 2 shakes. All right, you guys are being disconnected from one power source and into another. Okay, hopefully it's still, how are we doing? Are we still good? Let me see what our battery is. I think our battery's good. All right, so let me go ahead and get this hooked up. We'll get you guys looking at least something before, while I get the rest of the stuff undone. Hopefully this continue to still work. I might have to use a different cord. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I forgot we needed to have the phone, my phone over here so it can internet. Sorry about that, guys. Let me hook this up real quick. All right. This battery here will turn this around and get it. See me? Are we? I just wanted to make sure we were. If you guys don't already know, we are. Let me see if I can find a way to turn this around. There we go. Okay. Guys, around here, just to turn you guys. We're at the Bethel Church right now, and we have the command centers that are being set up. There's one of them right here. Let me turn over here, and we'll take you guys for a little bit of a walk here in just a second. But there's one of them right there, and then of course we have the main one right over there behind there. It looks like it's getting a little bit blurry as I expand that, but that's okay. We are here where they are being staged at the moment. They are checking cars. We were, as you guys know, at the very beginning, at the front where we came in here, we didn't know where we were coming to. And we stopped and there was vehicles there and it looked like they had their pens and markers and stuff like that out. And then of course they said the staging area was down here. And of course we met officers. There we go. We're having some issues. We're having some issues with. We're searching all vehicles coming in and leaving this area. So them opening up the trunks, opening all the doors. There's 3 cops that kind of swarmed the vehicle, so they're checking. So out here because they don't know where she is. She's a nonverbal 4-year-old child, and so hopefully we'll get some resolution today. Again, I'm very hopeful because we were all J.J. Rollins case out there in Brooksville, Florida. It's a good day. There's a lot of volunteers out there that made that whole situation possible. So this looking very much similar to the Brooksville area that we were at when we did the search for J.J. Rollins. It a little semblance of hope and peace that, you know, she could be found safe, and there's just a lot of little nooks and crannies she can get into out here in South Carolina. So I'm going to turn this around. We're going to watch. I get some other things set up. I've got to get another battery out here because this battery will not last throughout the day. It will not last throughout the day. It wasn't full charge. But we're not going to be here. We're on the case for Elena Moore, which is in Lexington, South Carolina. We're going to continue our coverage on that case and identifying route when she made it back to the facility. So I'll be back. guys, so I got the other battery. I need right this moment. We're gonna have to change out the battery. This moment, we're gonna have to change out the battery. Try to put a little makeup on. I got it all over my shirt. You can't take me anywhere. Can't take. I don't know why I keep going in and out. There's something where I'm at where the signal is getting jammed, or somebody's coming through here, interrupting the signal. So we'll try to keep it. I don't know how long we'll ultimately stay out here to search for this little girl. They're not having, like I said, there seems to be something a little more than, or maybe they're just covering all their bait for me to. So here. I don't know. Might end up going back to the freaking car because I keep popping, and I had option in the car that I do out here. I just switch this around. Okay. Let me go down to the bottom here. Hey guys, we need to raise money to get Buddy Starlink. Yeah, I know, I do need some Starlink, y'all. I think when we get back, but that I was going to do that whenever we were getting ready to go to Arizona for the Guthrie case, but I don't know. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Seth, my man, I see you don't sleep much like me. No, nobody sleeps. If you're part of the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club, you don't sleep. You're an insomniac. I was sleeping good until I heard deet deet deet, and it was the real me too telling me about this case this morning. So we went ahead and packed up what we could and got out here as quickly as possible. I don't know if they're gonna find her, and I don't know if they're not asking for any help. They don't want any help from volunteers right now. They want everybody to stay out of the area and let them do their job. And they want people that are in this current area to please look on their property, look in their outbuildings, any place that a little 4-year-old girl can cuddle up and curl up. Remember, she's an autistic, nonverbal child, so she's going to try to find something safe and dark and quiet. She's not going to be, if she can find some place to cubby into, she's going to find a place to cubby into. So just remember that. And yes, I do wish they would let us, I wish they would let us search or volunteer or go back there. Well, when we were out on when we were out boots on the ground before, there wasn't the tech that we have today. I mean, and that was just 3 short years ago, So now that we're back out, we still have some other stuff, and we had all the advanced gear for that time. I have PTSD, so many things wakes me. Yeah. I'm a ride or die. Aw, well, thank you, Veronica. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We had a case in Arkansas where the perp was searching for the woman. He had, ooh. Yeah, it might be, that could be, could be it. But that's why I like whenever they did the situation in Brooksville, everybody that came in had to show a driver's license. They logged every single person that came out there. Everybody. If you were out there, they logged you. And you gave them a card, and they identified you with the caution tape. You tied a piece of caution tape around your ankle, And that's how they identified you as checking in and giving your, and I thought how clever that was, because nobody did know what happened to J.J. Rollins, and he could have technically been kidnapped, you know. And if he was kidnapped, then, you know, they would have been able to get away with him. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's like, just like you say, we know all too often, like Brian Koberger and all these other cases where the suspect came back to the scene of the crime, and it wouldn't be surprising to see somebody that, if they did kidnap a child, coming back to help search for that child. Look at that, what was that Castro guy, you know, with Amanda Berry and all that. He was part of the search crews that helped search for those ladies, all 3 of those ladies. He was part of the search crew, hugged the moms' necks and everything, and he was harboring those kids. You know, he kidnapped those kids and kept them down in a basement chained up. So it does show you, you know, there are ways to handle that and to get people's information, because again, if they're searching and they have to sign into search, they're going to sign into search. And if you see somebody that realizes they have to turn a you know, driver's license, or you see them back away and start getting in their car, you know, something's not right there. You're going to go question that person. So, you know, we do have all of those things. So, but right now we're in Aiken County. The sheriff has made it very clear they don't want any volunteers out here searching. And they've got this pretty much cordoned off. And like I said, you know, we've been here. They're searching all vehicles. They're searching all vehicles. So if you're, as you see, they're getting a little line right here. They're stopping everything and searching in it. I mean, mine's filled, like the back seats filled with backpacks and freaking chairs, you know, because I'm going to DC. So it was very easy for them to pop the hood, check everything. There's no child in my vehicle, so, you know, but it was kind of interesting or appreciative. Let's stand out of the way and see how he measures himself. I don't see the big stuff, like the big equipment, the mud boggers, you know, those types of things out here. You know, I just don't see it. I really don't, which is a little concerning, because we got the command center, we got a command post. I almost want to stay here. Do we know if they're giving a press conference? Can my mods check to see if we're getting a press conference today? If so, what time? Let's see what we're back. Let me go get my glasses. I forgot my glasses. And then I brought this out here for us to take a walk, but we don't need to take a walk just yet. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to see. Yeah, literally everybody that has the so go ahead and get some ideas on Javeayha. Okay, so here's the information that we have just right now. Law enforcement agency are urgently searching for 4-year-old Javeayha Harris, who went missing in Aiken County, South Carolina. She was last seen on the evening, so yesterday evening, Tuesday, June 30th. Her name is Javeayha Harris. She is 4 years old. She's 3 feet 6 inches tall, weighs about 40 pounds, with pink braided hair. She was last seen wearing a pink Minnie Mouse pajamas with Crocs. So it sounds like it was evening. She was already in pajamas and bedclothes when she disappeared. So still very, very concerned about how, in the manner of which she disappeared. Emergency crews and multiple law enforcement agencies, including Aiken County Sheriff's Office, SLED, utilizing helicopters and local fire and EMS departments, are actively conducting door-to-door in wooded area grid searches. The primary search area is near the intersection of Hills Street and so they have tracking dogs and search teams on the ground, and that is one of the primary. They need everybody to stay out of the area, and so these things can distort the readings of them. 80364. So that's all the information we have on this little 4-year-old girl. We know the situation as to whether or not she will be brought home, and in her condition, her manner and condition of how she's going to be brought home is going to be critical and crucial. But again, they are asking everybody to stay out of the area at this time. So if you guys did get all of that, we went over through everything that we have. They want everybody to check their home security cameras, ring doorbell cameras, dash cameras for any sign of a child matching this. We're only getting every other word you are saying. Okay, well that's about it. That's about what I can do. Maybe we'll go over out and see what we can see over there. Guys, just stick with me. And we'll be moving here in just shortly. I got to get everything packed up. All right, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. We're going to go ahead and start moving our location. We're going to go down, Reynolds Pond's not too far from here. We're going to go down to Reynolds Pond and see what we can do down there. Give me a second. Where are we? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put you guys down just for a second. Yeah, I'm going to put you guys just deal with all this later. All right, guys, we're kind of getting back. Sorry, I'm probably blown up on you guys. Like what? I don't know why the Samsung phones blow everybody up so quickly, but they do. So we're going to go down to Reynolds Pond. Ooh, we're so big. It looks like we're walking to the wrong vehicle. Our freaking front seat's starting to look. All right, guys. We're going to move this over in just a second. Gotta change plugs. Give me just a second. I gotta get you guys plugged in. Okay, we're disconnecting from power source 1 and hooking you guys up to power source 2. Happening now. Okay. Yes, I realized that there was a lot of, we weren't in a good spot. This is kind of backwoods territory for us. So we're going to go ahead and get back to Reynolds. Let's go to Reynolds Pond. Reynolds Pond. Reynolds Pond. It's 1.7 miles, 4 minutes away.
Head toward Pipeline Road, then turn left onto State Highway 1071.
All right. And then we're not going to be able to get back, participate, or help in any way, shape, or capacity. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. There's not a whole lot to report here. Hold on, let me put this back into park. There we go. Hold on a second. What in the world is going on here? Connect your phone. I don't know why it does that. It just keeps doing that. So it's nice to see you guys. We're right here. Let me pull this back just a lot further. It should be able to go smaller than that. There we go. I don't know if that's right or not, but it is what it is. All right, guys, we're out. We're going. Is this working? Okay, we'll take this off. Hold on, guys. I'm having some issues here. It's not hooking you guys up to my system so I can play you through my system, so it kind of sucks a little bit. Bring your app to your car. Okay. Android, okay, you're available. Now that there we go. Okay, guys, we're back. We're done here. We're going to be transfer files. Says tap here. It's not working. Okay. We're out. We're not going to be able to get back there where law enforcement is. So we're going to have to find a way to get out of here. Let me make sure I'm not hitting any cops. Which way do you guys want me to leave? That way?
So you just cut through that grass over here. It's a little dirt
okay.
driveway.
Yeah. I'm not coming back. I just came and got my clips, so.
If you go down, there's another barricade down there, and this one, this is.
Okay, I'll just back out and go
down.
down.
Just drive through the grass. You'll see that one.
Okay, perfect. We'll do.
Drive back straight up.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to turn around, God. I don't want to drive back up. Okay, so it looks like we can go. We're going to drive through the grass and get over to the other side. Barricades everywhere. We're not coming back to this area. I'm just going to let you guys know that. Okay, we're out. We're done. This is what he told me to do. He told me to drive through the grass to the little cut and then go to the cut. So that's what we're doing. We're in an SUV. That's why we got an SUV and not a car. So we can go off-road if need be. But I do have to. Okay, we're done. We're done with this. All right, guys. Sorry, guys. You guys were going to be popping out. I think we had, because we're out here in the middle of nowhere, I think because of the news organizations, they were stealing the bandwidth. You got to remember, I'm running my Apple as well as the live stream off of one internet plug. I just left. I was just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, do what you got.
They were ready to search my car again. They were ready to search the car again, guys. Holy smokes. All right, so we're going to go back to the pond just to see. I mean, it's within, this area here, we're looking for a child within 5 miles. So this is in the area. This is in a 1.7 mile area. It's a pond. We might not even be able to get back there. I just want to put that into perspective for you guys. It is possible that we may to the Reynolds Pond. We'll find out. Again, we've got law enforcement is penetrating this area. They are going door to door. They are looking in all vehicles for this child. They searched my vehicle pulling up to the scene, which is fine. We're all about helping and assisting any way that we possibly can. But this feels a little more than them just being concerned that she managed to, get out of the house. There's some element that is very concerned about, maybe this is just a protocol, with a missing child. Some freak could pick her up and take her out of the area knowing she's missing, like specifically come here like we did to search for her in an effort to find her. So we got a lot of stopping traffic here and doing everything.
At the stop sign, turn right onto South Carolina 26 East.
Howdy doody. Yeah, I'm just media. Thank you. So at least they at least recognize me as being part of the press, so that at least makes me feel a little bit better. They didn't want to search me. He was getting his pad out, and it looks like they're even stopping people and taking their names and addresses and everything. They've swarmed. This makes me feel comfortable. Seeing this level of presence, not just law enforcement, but the vehicle stopping out here in the backwoods, making sure nobody is going in or out of this area without being checked or searched. I love that. I love that. That makes me feel confident. It makes me feel confident. We don't know the details about the family. We do not. That's correct. That is correct. We have no idea who the family is. We have no idea the details. They may be the Mr. and Mrs. E family, So that's why I say we got to be very careful. Right now, all we're doing is bringing awareness. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're bringing awareness to the case. We're not we're not antagonizing or inflaming the situation at all. I mean, you guys are looking at everything we're looking at. A child can get out here and get lost very easy, okay? I mean, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, right? There's a lot of thick foliage out here. There's a lot of thick, dense trees and landscape out here. This is the terrain. Turn left. Oh, right here. Okay, here's the pond. I guess it's down this road here.
In a quarter mile, you will arrive at your destination.
I mean, there isn't any law enforcement present out here, but I can't imagine them not being out here. Question is, can you get on the property without, like I see already no entrance, and directional signs from way back here, so gates are open, so they have closed gates. I wonder if these gates are, I don't want to be back here. Driver, do not block driveway, sign in for shipping. It says that this is the lake, but I don't think this is the Reynolds Pond. This is where it took me though. This is not Reynolds Pond. Let's just keep going. We'll go up and check out. I saw a sign that says Reynolds Pond, but that's definitely not a pond. That's a business. Private business. We have nothing to do with that private business. Guys, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Like this poor little girl, I mean, I don't think she would go, I would think she would be scared to go back in all of this stuff, but you never know. I mean, believe it or not, kids are a little more curious and exploratory than you might think, So this is Active Minerals International, the Kaolin Division, whatever that is. Kaolin Division. No solicitation. Well, we're not soliciting. We're not selling anything. We're looking for a little girl.
Head towards State Highway 980. Take your next left onto State Highway 980.
Well, maybe it took me for a detour. Well, it took me there. It's still on its path. We haven't made it to Reynolds Pond. I don't know why it took me there. Maybe apparently it wanted you guys to see that area. Hello, guys.
Turn left onto State Highway 980. Then you'll take your first slight left.
Okay, turn left and then take our first slight left. First slight left. Oh.
Take a slight left.
Is this Reynolds Pond? I think this goes all the way.
In a quarter mile, you will arrive at your destination.
No entry. It's trespassing beyond this point. No trucks beyond. I think this is a private drive. I'm not going down it. I'm not going down it. We're not going to be able to get to the pond. It's telling me the Reynolds Pond is this way. This looks like private property. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We're not doing it. All right, let's go back. We're going to go start dealing with Elena more. We're going to have to figure out what where all she went. The 4-year-old, they're not going to let us back. They're just not. You guys saw it. Unfortunately, I wish we could help, but I'm not sitting out there at that church all day when we've got SLED. And there's 2 command centers out there. There was the AIKEN County or AIKEN County, I think it's AIKEN County Sheriff's command center, and then they had the SLED command center. So SLED is out here. I saw many SLED agents. I saw more SLED agents out here than I did AIKEN County agents out here. So this is being handled by the state. The state is coordinating with local. I mean, I'm sure that because they don't know what they're dealing with. It seems like SLED is very thick on the scene. I just thought I'd point that out to all of you guys. It's SLED is definitely. We're gonna have to go somewhere. Reynolds Pond Convenience Center right here. There it is. There it is, folks. Hold on. Let's turn around. Let's turn around. Can I turn around right here? Please tell me I can turn around right here. And it even said operating hours open. I think. Why does it keep taking me to different places? There. I think we found it. I think we found the pond right here. Welcome to Reynolds Pond Convenience Center. Maybe Reynolds Pond is the area? No dumping. AIKEN's residential waste only. This looks like a garbage compact. Yeah. Okay, guys. Apparently we don't know what Reynolds Pond is. It sounds like it might be an area versus a actual pond. Like, I think that this is considered Reynolds Pond. I think we're in Reynolds Pond, in all fairness. I don't think there's an actual pond, unless somebody can find an actual pond. I have no earthly idea. It's not showing me an active pond. It took me to a business. So let's go back to our... Let's go to CVS. There we go. We're about 41 minutes away from
Continue
the CVS.
For 1.5 miles.
So we still don't, we're going to be switching gears, guys. We went out there for the little girl. We have her on the thumbnail. Thank goodness she can be seen. If anybody is out in South Carolina, please be on the lookout for this little beautiful, precious 4-year-old girl. Guys, I gotta say, I did not like the vibe out there. Not that I think that anything, that somebody did something to this poor girl. Nothing like that. The vibe I got is she could be in grave danger. I mean, look at what we're looking at here. I mean, look at this dense shrubbery. This is dense terrain. If she's out there, she could have easily gotten lost. She could have easily wound up in a creek, a pond. If she's not found, now we're going to have some serious problems. We may have to come back here on the way back down from DC and stop. But I have a funny feeling one of 2 things is going to happen. They're going to find her like they did J.J. Rollins, and she's going to reunite with her family, or they're going to find her somewhere. I don't think there's going to be too many different stories to this. This is not looking good for me. We need to pray for this family and pray for this little girl. But right now what I'm seeing is if she did get out, it's going to be hard to find her. Even with the planes, they had thermal imaging, and those thermal imaging are good, but they only work through the trees. Like they can't penetrate the trees. So they can only
stop sign, turn left.
They can only penetrate through the
stop sign. Turn left onto US 1 North.
The areas that there isn't thick foliage, there isn't a thick tree line. When there's a break in the thick tree line, that really is the only time they can see the person. Because I've seen some of that thermal imaging stuff. We got to pull over. I've got to put some air in my tires. My tire's a little low. It doesn't take us that long, but it does. We do need to put some air in the tire, though. And I need something to eat. I'm hungry. Is anybody else hungry? Why am I hungry? I'm hungry. Look at all these law enforcement. They got law enforcement everywhere here right now. Oh my gosh, Aiken Regional Airport is right here too. It's over here to my left. We have a regional airport in their backyard. We have literally a regional airport in the backyard. There's another officer right there pulling somebody over. Young men in uniform. Can't take Betty anywhere. Already misbehaving. Already misbehaving. Listen to me. Listen to me. All right. Where the heck do we want to go for breakfast? Like, I just loathe the freaking McDonald's. I really do. But they do have a good egg McMuffin. I like egg McMuffins. That's probably the best thing I like from a McDonald's is their egg McMuffin. I mean, their food is, ooh, there's Bojangles. What the heck? I'm probably going to regret it. I'm probably going to wish I had gone to Bojangles. Watch.
Go past this light and turn right onto the I-20 East ramp to Columbia.
Yeah, we'll do it after we take a little detour over here. Oh, look. There's a Waffle House. If I wasn't live, you know I'd go to the Waffle House. Hey guys that are just coming in, we were in Aiken, South Carolina. Little 4-year-old girl disappeared yesterday evening. She was in her pajamas. She's a nonverbal autistic child. Law enforcement is going door to door. Oops, let me turn. Law enforcement is going door to door, and they are to try to find out where the staging area is for media. They went ahead and vehicle again, a little weird.
Exit the parking lot toward West Frontage Road.
At McDonald's. If you're using the app today, give us your code now. If not,
yeah, can I get an egg McMuffin meal? Give me, do you guys have Diet Dr. Pepper?
We do.
Okay, I'll take a Diet Dr. Pepper.
What else can you get food?
That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Great.
Thank you. Okay, I gotta make sure.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm just throw that away from you. I'm so sorry. And of course I'm not prepared. I'm a mess today. Bear with me. There you go. Thank you.
Listen.
So much. You too. All right, we're gonna go right out here in the parking lot here, and we're going to fill up the tire. Tire's low. We've got the machine. All right, let me get the machine.
Exit the parking lot toward West Frontage Road.
All right, guys, give me just a second. We'll sit here and eat our food while we fill up a tire. Where's my handy dandy machine? There it is. There it is. Yeah, we had 25 pounds of pressure in that. Ooh, I'm gonna eat my hash brown first. Can you guys hear my machine? You guys hear my machine out there? I bring all this shit with me. I don't stop at a grocery store or anything. If I need to jump start my car, I got a jumper in here. I got a tire pressure thingy in here. And it's all done battery operated too. So I don't have to have it plugged into anything. I just have to keep the battery charged. And just that quickly, we're all ready. We're all ready. It's done. It's DLNE. Now we just got to plug it in and make sure it stays charged. We have a filled up tire. I have a small little hole in the tire. And since I have to buy new tires, I figured I would wait. Hey guys, I'm filling up tires and stuff like that. That's okay. Can't back up, people are behind me. Okay. And we're off. Oh, that was my little handheld. Okay. We got food.
At the light, turn left onto US 1 North. Then you'll turn right onto the I-20 East ramp to Columbia.
Okay, guys, we're switching gears now. We are officially back on track with Elena Moore. We just did a detour to advocate for a 4-year-old little girl that is missing in Aiken, South Carolina. However, they won't let us back to search or help. And there's very limited for this little girl, which is sad.
The I-20 East ramp.
We expect all news organizations, when there's a child missing in a community, we expect the public.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-20 East.
The public expects law enforcement to do everything possible to bring the child home. They also expect media, local media, to be out there in the droves, advocating for the child and letting people. There was 2 news organizations out there in Maine. That is not enough to bring enough awareness to this poor little girl's story as they did. Now, I'm not going to stand out there all day when there's nothing to look for. You know, even law enforcement out there, they didn't have their stuff together just quite yet. So we didn't see a whole lot of activity. Now, they were just at the command center, okay? They were the heads of their departments, and their people are out there in the field. Like we saw when we first pulled up, we saw those 2 cops sitting there at the entrance going down their road. We saw the cops right there at Bethel Church, the 3 cops there searching everybody's vehicle. Those are the things that they are doing there to make sure that that there's not a third party that's responsible for why she's missing. So they've got that covered up, or, covered, but there needs to be more media out there. It's a 4-year-old little girl in the middle of freaking nowhere, and she's missing. I wish we had more information on the family, but even if we did, we wouldn't be able to do a whole lot with that information because, they're not letting us in certain areas. They're keeping those areas cordoned off, which again, I'm not disputing. I dispute the fact that they should be utilizing as many volunteers. It's a 4-year-old girl. Minutes matter, especially if she's alive. Every second that she's not found, she could be slipping into a stream or a lake or a pond. And that's why you have people on it's not about the methodical search. It's about finding a child that's missing. The methodical search, the evidence collecting, the shoulder to shoulder microscopic evidence collection, that's for different times. Whenever you have a missing child, you need as many people out there as possible to find that child before that child injures themselves. And when you don't know which direction that child is, there's no possibility of having enough law enforcement officers to do the type of initial search that needs to be done when a child goes missing. Those immediate first hours. The first few hours, you should have hundreds of people dispersed. Now, granted, the only bad thing about that is, when it comes down to it being a crime versus a missing child, you've just contaminated your crime scene and you trampled all over it, which is what we dealt with in the case of Lily and Jack Sullivan out of Pictou County, Nova Scotia, Canada. So they had all the people searching for the kids before they got the dogs in. So, when we're dealing with stuff like this, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You really are. But at the end of the day, I will always side with the side of let's just find the child. Whatever the case may be, wherever this child may be, if this turns into a homicide investigation, it is what it is. But let's just find the child. That's from where I come from. But no matter what, on the flip side, you're going to have contacts with me bitching about that. If they do not find, they throw all these people out there, and it's unorganized and not coordinated properly. Then you have me bitching about how unorganized it is and how uncooperative, how it didn't bode. But I will always side with finding the child, no matter what. Always, 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 always. So they're looking at the next stage of the investigation, which is good. That's what we want law enforcement to do. But there's ways to handle it. And again, the best way is the way I saw Brooksville handle J.J. Rollins. And I wish that more law enforcement would handle the volunteer search like they did for J.J. Rollins. They had that. I don't know who designed that, who came up with that strategy on handling and dealing with literally hundreds of volunteers. But in Florida, we believe in finding first. Let's find the victim. We're not building a case until we find a victim, and we have to keep those things in mind. I'm glad they are keeping them in mind. But again, it's a 4-year-old child where literally seconds and milliseconds matter. You don't have the ability to have a pissing contest with we need volunteers out there, and I wish they would call volunteers out there. If they call volunteers out there, we will come back and go back out there. But we just need to advocate for this little girl. But I just feel like there's something more. Like I've never seen. We've been on a lot of missing children cases, folks. Lots of them. I've never had my car searched. As crazy as it sounds, even with remember when we were out there for Audrey Cunningham, we were out there like within 24 hours of her missing, and I can tell you, never had my car searched ever in any of these. So definitely, I'm not opposed to it. I to be honest with you, I think that it's good. I'm glad to see that they are doing stuff like that. It's just weird for me. It's just weird. So I feel like because they did that, out of all the kids, we've been to a lot of children cases, lots of children cases, folks. never had my car searched. I'm glad to have her. I feel like they should. I feel like I was shorted in the other cases. I feel like they should have searched the cars. They don't know me. They don't know me. I mean, we can absolutely decline them searching the vehicle, right? Because this is my personal property. They do need a warrant to search. I could have been a dick if I really wanted to, but who wants to be a dick? You want to be helpful. A child's missing. I got nothing to hide. But in the same sense, I feel like I've been duped at all the other cases I went to because they should have checked my vehicle. And they didn't. So, very interesting. If you guys are riding with us, we're heading back to the Lexington area. And I actually feel this is actually good for us because I think this will be more consistent with what happened that particular day, right? Because allegedly she was coming from a facility by taxi to the CVS. Now, we don't know which direction she was. We don't know if they're Aiken County direction or the opposite direction of Aiken County. But we're coming from I-20 into the Lexington area. So we get to remember and see what she kind of saw that day when she was being released from the facility. Now, there are a few things that do bother me. One is why they didn't call her husband. Why they didn't call her husband and pick her up. When you're released from the facility, yeah, you're released from a facility, but they shouldn't have to send you out by taxi. You should have a mom, a sister, a friend. You know, she seems like she has a lot of friends. Why did she have them call a friend, phone a friend to come pick her up? Why would they send her off in a taxi? There's so many questions I have about that. Because here in America, if you're a danger to yourself or to somebody else, they're required by law to keep you. There are ways for our government to keep us in a mental health institute if they wanted to. Now, granted, if there's no insurance money, you'll probably have a very scrap there. But even then, if you're broke, Medicaid or Medicare picks up a lot of the she was at the facility to begin with, and why she didn't drop her. And like, I could see her being dropped off at the pharmacy, right? You know, she left a medical facility and they gave her prescriptions. Yeah, she would want to go over there to get her prescription filled or drop off her prescription at least. But the cab driver dropped her off there and let her out. So it always comes back to, how in the world did she get back to get her car? I mean, she did have 2.5 hours or 3 hours before she was observed on the cameras in the Lowe's and Planet Fitness parking lot, right? So if her car was in the Lowe's parking lot, why did she sneak home to get her car? Or did she not sneak home? She walked home, or did her husband pick her up? I feel like there's something more here that the family, friends, and hubby is not telling us. And it's either a severe mental health issue that she's having, or she's on drugs. Maybe she went to somebody said that she had some heart problems. Maybe she was going to pick up her prescription for her heart. Maybe they didn't have them ready. You know, I'm still trying to figure out, because she didn't have any injuries. I think we're going to find out she had a heat stroke. I think we're going to find out that she was out there in South Carolina heat in the middle of June without any fluids, any water, anything. And I think she succumbed to the elements. As crazy as that sounds, but somebody that's disassociated and mentally and having a mental break is not going to be paying attention to water consumption or fluid consumption. And what if she did go into Planet Fitness and worked out to boot? I mean, you're talking about expressing a lot of sweat and energy with no reintroduction of those electrolytes and water. Like, I keep playing this tape through, and I'm not dismissing that she's having marital problems or even that her husband is following her, and that may be what made her so paranoid. But I don't think he's responsible for this, because if he did anything to her, I feel like she would have a bruise on her body somewhere, that some type of struggle. And finding out that through the autopsy there was no visible signs of trauma, and there was no, like, they didn't see any broke bones or anything like that, it makes me wonder if he ever was violent with her at all, because we heard that very violent relationships, like even Miss Lynette, I bet you when they find her body, they're going to find several different bones that have healed, you know, from breaking, or, you know, something like that from her husband. I feel like they'll find multiple injuries on her body that are in, you know, different degrees of healing because of how violent he was with her for so long before she was ultimately killed. So we have, sorry guys, I had to eat breakfast, I was so hungry. I'm just trying to figure it out. It's like I almost want to show you where we're going to have to park at a business and get out and walk the way to where she was ultimately at, but it's scary for me to think that she could have this is what happened to Ruth Sakala too. You guys remember that little old lady, that sweet little old lady from Pasco County? Caribbean Breeze, JLR, myself, and I believe Olivia. Was Olivia involved? Yeah, I think Olivia was involved in that too. It was four or five of us. In just different degrees, we got into together differently. But anyways, long story short, is we went out searching for her, and we couldn't find her. And her husband, they had been married for forever. Her husband, her little old husband, oh my goodness, it broke my heart. He was, you know, they had kids that were adults, you know, that already had grandkids that were having kids. That's how this family was. And the husband and wife had been together for like 50 or 60 years. I mean, it was some significant amount of time. And we searched and searched and searched for her, and it's like she just keeled over. She was walking, and she was walking in these high, tall weeds on the side of the road, you know, getting to her destination, walking to her destination, which was these shops. She loved going to this little strip mall of shops. She never would buy anything, but she just loved, you know, looking at the shops. And there was the bingo hall there where she could go and get into a game of bingo, which she'd love to do. So whenever she didn't arrive home, he decided to take the car to go pick her up. He figured that she must have been out of breath or something, because again, this was something she regularly did. It wasn't uncustomary for her to get up and walk to this strip mall, and sometimes she would walk back, and sometimes she would get her oh, what's all this? Oh, we got something going on up here. Something going on up here. So I'm gonna a little slow down here and see what we can see. It doesn't look like somebody must have had a medical event. It doesn't look like any cars were wrecked. It was weird. Huh. Interesting. Seems like we might have had a medical event on the road. Somebody pulled over because they were having a medical event. Anyways, getting back to this, I don't even remember where we were when I looked at that, whatever was going on to the side of the road. I forget what I was just talking about. Sorry guys, I kind of went on a tangent and lost my train of thought. But getting back to Alina Moore is 39 years old. She's been a gym instructor. We don't see, a whole lot of people that, one thing you'll find out is people that usually work out a lot or exercise a lot are a lot more happy of a person. There are several reasons for that. One, they have better circulation, better flow, better oxygen levels in their blood, which give them more of an upbeat. It has a positive effect on the brain and stuff like that. But while you're working out, you build up adrenaline and endorphins while you're working out that floods your system. So people that really put a good sweat in almost get a high. So they can become addicted to working out because of the high that is produced by the workout. So I found that's pretty interesting because we don't know what's going on here, but typically what I'm basically trying to say is that typically a woman that works out a lot is going to be more well-rounded than a woman that's not working out a lot, because they're going to be more positive because they got all the chemicals, the proper chemicals shooting off in their brain that gives them that happy, high, endorphin-filled, lifestyle, so to speak. So we don't see a whole lot of people that work out a lot unless they're doing other things with the workout that are typically angry or, pop off at the mouth. They're usually very kind, ginger people. People that work out a lot typically are smiling, happy-go-lucky, more type of people versus somebody that wants to be violent. Now when you start getting into steroids and stuff like that, you'll have an opposite effect. But just natural body going and working out, you don't really have a whole lot of people that are angry that work out, just like the hippie lifestyle. You don't have a lot of hippies that are, brutal murderers, but you do have one or two that defy logic, so I'm just saying that I wouldn't expect her to be as, in a violent relationship. She should be happy and stuff like that. So for her to have these mental breaks, it really does make me feel like there was something going on in this lady's world before, even 10 or so years ago that maybe her friends didn't recognize. I don't know, but something happened to this lady, and everybody wants to blame the husband, and I just don't see how the husband is responsible for this is the problem. Again, could it be a situation where it's like a JP Miller situation, where he just abused her so much that she ended up taking her own life, because she just couldn't handle it anymore? Or is this something where she had a mental health break and she forgot to drink water and she ended up having a heat stroke? I really feel like, I think that when I show you where she was ultimately found, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, something just doesn't bode well. It's not a place where somebody's going to pull off and dump a body. You know what I'm saying? It's at this very, very, very busy intersection, and she's off in the woods down kind of this embankment area where she lost her life. It's more confusing when we go out here and look at this case. It is more confusing speaking about it and learning about it than we were just watching it on the news, because so many different things are popping off inside of my brain when I'm doing this case, such as the heat stroke element. I don't think I've ever brought up in any of my cases that I thought maybe a heat stroke might be responsible for something. But a heat stroke can make you disoriented. I'm also looking at a medical event as well, because many of her friends have never talked about her being disassociated or hallucinating or having this paranoia before. And the fact that she's deceased, it makes me wonder, did she have a brain aneurysm, brain cancer that nobody knew about, that was putting pressure on her brain that caused her to have these hallucinations? And maybe the brain cancer was so aggressive that before she even knew it, she's dead, you know? I'm trying to understand. I'm not trying to make excuses or anything. I really am just trying to understand what truly happened and in her world and her sphere, and I just can't figure it out, because a part of me feels like she's trying to hide from her husband, but a part of me feels like, you know, her paranoia was a mental break, not really saturated in reality, but alter reality, you know, something that her brain was playing tricks on her. And I'm trying to decipher if that was because somebody was drugging her, she was drugging herself, or she just had mental illness. Again, I could be completely off base with this case, and there may be some people that think I'm completely off base with this case, and that's fine. But I just don't see where, outside of her, how did she get a car? Based on everything that's out there in the public as factual information, there's just huge chunks of time just missing out of the timeline, like hours, chunks of hours just missing. For example, in Elena Moore's case, we have a situation where she was released from a facility and they sent her home in a taxi cab, and she wanted them to drop her off at the CVS. Well, we don't know what time it was, but if she left the facility, it's got to be within an hour and a half of her home. So we're looking at like 3:30, but she wasn't on camera or didn't check into the Planet Fitness until 6:47 at night. 3 hours, 15 minutes is missing from point A to point B. So what did she do there in that 3 hours? Did somebody pick her up? Did she go home? Was she at home? And that's how she got her car and told her husband, hey, I'm going to work out in the gym, and him just be fed up and go take her car? I mean, has he been drugging her, giving her these delusions, and, having her, because she doesn't realize she's been dosed, she's acting erratic and trying to walk into people's houses a week beforehand? Is he doing this so he can have her Baker acted or have her thrown into a facility so he can get his finances in order and start working on an exit strategy from their marriage? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we heard of a husband doing something like that. But there's still some type of inclination or evidence to help support that. And we do have friends that are screaming bloody murder and believe that the husband has something to do with it. But why? Why specifically do they believe he has something to do with it? And how can he, murder her without leaving a mark on her? no strangulation, no stabbing, no gunshot, just as if she dropped it. No matter how we look at this, this seems like it would have to be pharmaceutical or drug related or medical event related, because typical modes of homicide, strangulation, fire, or stabbing, that's very well observed on the outside of the body. You don't need to, even the strangulation, the telltale sign of strangulation is petechia. Those are the rupturing of the small blood vessels in your eyes that produce almost this speckling look. Very common to see in air restriction type of deaths, whether it's drowning, whether it's strangulation, whether it's some other types of blocking, choking death. It's the same type of petechia. So you have this, and it's from the pressure of you choking and the stress that you have. It blows blood vessels in your body. So it's very well, you can definitely see that the type of crime it could be. It's none of those. And they further stated that there was no signs of trauma. There was no bruising. There's no bruising on her. So if, oops, am I supposed to be turning here? Oh, do I have my volume off? I sure do. Let me turn the volume back on.
Take your next left onto US 1.
I'm glad I looked up. We almost drove right past, like, I just went across 2 lanes of traffic. Holy smokies. Let me turn this back this way. I don't know how close we are to our hotel. 10 minutes away. I don't want you guys knowing where I'm staying.
Turn left onto US 1.
Sorry, guys. I mean, I love you, but I ain't loving you that much. Ooh, I can get over here on this side. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I can get bypass this tractor trailer. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Bypass this tractor trailer. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Actually, we're not going. Oh, I can't turn around. We're not going back to the hotel. We're going to the CVS. You guys can see the CVS. Okay. So we're going to the CVS. We're about 10 minutes out of the CVS. So this is kind of the ride that they would have taken, because according to the statements, they were bringing her back to the Lexington.
Turn right onto Dooley Road.
At the light? Oh, shoot. I'm on the wrong side of the road. I'm going to have to do a U-ey up here. Let me do a U-ey here, because I'm supposed to be going across that way. Oopsie. Oopsie doopsie. Oopsie doopsie poopsie. Supposed to go across the road, and it's too far up there to do a U-turn, so I'd rather just do a turn here, or do a big turn, and then go across the street. So this is kind of where that they would have, the kind of the drive that they would have had to get to the
exit the parking lot toward North Lake Drive.
All right, let's let this lady come on. Turn around. Oh, let this little lady go. She's probably like, "What the hell is this woman doing?" I'm from Florida. I'm one of them. I don't know. Tourists. Don't look at me. I got a Florida plate. I'm showing my colors. I'm showing my colors. I'm from Florida. Oh, good gracious. Oh, they got tomatoes. Lexington County tomatoes here. Oh, I bet you they're delicious. I want to go and get a fresh tomato, and put some salt and pepper on that bad boy. Oh, that sounds so good. Tomato sandwich. Oh, my goodness. Tomato sandwich. I bet you I'm making some people drool over some food right now, especially some country folk. Some country folk and their tomato sandwich. Oh, fried green tomatoes. Oh, dear goodness. No, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Help me stop. Help me stop. I feel like I should have went to Bojangles, because I feel like every time I turn around here, like we were in, I can't remember what state we were in. Every place we went, there was a when we went down to Fort Pierce, Florida, we had a freaking McDonald's at every freaking corner, where apparently Bojangles up here in South Carolina has the Bojangles on every corner instead of McDonald's. All right, guys, we're about to get to the CVS. I'm glad we got another phone. Oh, I'm so happy this phone stayed up and running. It didn't crash out. Got to go up over this hill. Look at that. They got a freaking roundabout in the middle of nowhere. Quit vomiting roundabouts. Jeez Louise. America can't handle all these damn roundabouts. Do. I don't know what that is. Am I recording? I think I got my body cam on. I think that's what I'm hearing. The do. That's what I'm hearing. Do. Flooring Pro, you're driving way too fast. Flooring Pro. You better be the owner. Better hopefully your boss ain't watching the Bullhorn Betty channel. Or they just saw you speeding. Okay. It's so pretty here. Good gracious. Look at this. This is beautiful. I love this. Golly, I wish if I could find a place that felt country and had all the amenities of city, I would live there. This right here is just this shit. I do. I love this. You got some, like the neighbors are here, but they're not cookie cutter houses. People are spread out. They have their own little wide open spaces. I don't know. I just love it. Look at all this land. Like I could put a house right here. A big old house with a huge studio. Bullhorn Betty studio. Roundabouts.
In 600 feet at the traffic circle, turn left onto Mineral Springs Road.
Really? I wonder if they came this way. Did she come through all of this? This would have been an expensive cab ride. I wonder how expensive their cab ride was. Do you not know how to do a roundabout? Why are you still sitting there? You should have brought your ass on into the roundabout. See, these people, Americans don't know how to drive roundabouts, okay? So engineers in DC and all these state heads, quit vomiting roundabouts. Americans don't like them. They don't help, and they're all going to be ripped out. They're going to eventually be ripped out, and they cost 10 times more, and then just putting a flash stop. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of freaking taxpayer money. Stop it. We are anti-roundabouts on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Anti-roundabouts, damn it. I don't know. Even like the most rundown house here looks so cute. It just looks so cute and quaint. Look at these. These are nice big houses. Good gracious. Look at that. Oh, those are coach homes. Those are like coach homes. They're attached, but they're individual. Listen, I am not buying a coach home. If I want to, and I'm not buying a freaking condo either. If I want to live in an apartment, I'll live in an apartment. But I'm definitely not owning something where I can hear people walking above me. Okay, I'm sorry. It ain't happening, folks. Look at this. This is just pretty. I wish more communities kept the heritage of their surroundings and their landscape as they build. This is so beautiful. Upper class areas just kind of blend with the area. It's so nice. And then you see some of the hollers, like it just drops down on the other side. It's just cool. This whole place is just, this little area around here.
At the next light, turn left.
What if I don't want to turn left? What if I want to be defiant? So it makes you wonder, did the cab drive all these ways? Did the cab do this? Where is their home? Did she go home? Do they have any evidence that she went home? We need to go look and see if there's any cameras. This place has no cameras. Listen, everybody, it is time to start hiring people with balls and backbones. We need cameras. We need good internet infrastructure across this country. I don't understand why it's so difficult. Nobody wants
At the light, turn left onto US 378 West, Sunset Boulevard.
Sounds so cool. Look at that. Guthrie's chicken fingers. Tell me that's not a sign. Do you guys see that? Guthrie's chicken fingers. Oh, do you see it right there? Guthrie's. I don't know if you guys can see it in the lower part of the thing. It's Guthrie's right there. I see it? Guthrie's. That kind of is pretty interesting, don't you think? That we got Guthrie's chicken. Now I want to go to. I just ate breakfast. Should have saved room. Maybe we should have went to 3 Guthrie's chicken fingers. I wonder if it's any relation to Nancy Guthrie. Guthrie chicken fingers. We've never heard of those before. Where did the Guthries come from? Is it a chain? Do we have a Guthrie's chicken finger chain? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Guys, if you guys are just coming in, it's nice to see you. We appreciate you all being here. We're just kind of trying to, we have 2 cases going on right now. We have a little 4-year-old that's missing. They're not letting the public help. We can't even get really anywhere to get any information. In all fairness, they did have a lot of people out there searching cars and stuff like that. But as far as seeing the actual people at the command center, it seemed very confused and you know, just everybody's just seems like they're really trying very hard to figure out what happened to this little precious 4-year-old girl and to bring her home. But again, I'm going to stand on the side that I'm always going to be on the side of let's find the person and bring them home before we start having pissing contests and keeping everybody out of the area. Now I can get, if you want to run the area with the dogs first before you let the public come in and to help, I can understand that. But dogs can run a large area very quickly, you know, unless there's something there that they need to take their time on. They can clear out areas with those dogs fairly quickly. So I don't consider that being a good enough excuse to stop the public from helping in any search. I'm sorry. They can get those dogs in there. They can go in the, you know, they probably already did clear some areas with the dogs yesterday, yet they're not letting anybody in those areas. I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good. And then, of course, them searching the cars. Again, I'm glad that they're doing that extra precaution, but it gives me the sense that there's more to the story than what they're saying. But it could just be preventative or precautionary measures that they're taking as well. And I'm just reading them wrong because, you know, this is the first time we've dealt with a missing child at the beginning here in South Carolina, and this is just their standard operating procedures that they do for missing children to cover all their bases to make sure that they have a good, you know, boundary in keeping all that contained and making sure that everybody is searched before they get out of that perimeter and or boundary area. You know, it could be something just like that. So we don't want to dismiss that or discredit that. I actually prefer that. I mean, the idea of them checking cars is, you know, we should be doing that everywhere all over the country when we have a missing child. I wonder if they did that in Sebastian Rogers' case. I doubt it because they didn't do shit in Sebastian Rogers' case. They didn't even have the FBI on the scene. TBI. I just found this out. They had TBI on the scene, folks. They did not have FBI on Sebastian Rogers' case on those initial days. They did not. I don't think that they had a proper geofencing done by the FBI. I think the only people that did it was TBI, and we don't care for TBI. TBI is just as poorly trained as their county sheriff's departments around the state. So, you know, it's like the blind leading the blind in these types of cases in Tennessee. They actually think they know what they're doing. Like this guy was running around playing the Eye of the Tiger for Sebastian, like he's a freaking infant. It was just, it's stupid. All right, guys, we're getting a little close to the CVS, so you guys will see this is where this is where phone 1 broke yesterday. The very first stop we made, we broke a phone. Literally the very first stop we made, we broke a freaking phone. I'm so pissed off about that. The choice words I said. The choice words I said. So we are literally 2 minutes away from the CVS. So we don't know which way she came in. She could be coming in from the opposite direction than we're driving. But this is the way we're driving. This is the way I came into the CVS yesterday too, coming from the hotel, which I didn't come from the hotel. We came from Aiken County. So this is the way it's pulling us into this area. Again, I don't know what this means. Does it mean something? It does mean something, but what?
Go past this light. Then, at the next one, turn right into the parking lot.
So you guys are going to see the CVS. If you guys are wondering, we're now have moved on to Elena Moore's case. Elena Moore's case. And here is the CVS right here. We're going to turn into it.
Turn right into the parking lot.
This is going to be important because we're going to go out of this parking lot and we're going to be going over to the Planet Fitness. And when I get out there,
head west on Sunset Boulevard,
then
turn right.
We're going to get out and walk.
Right. Then you'll take your first right into the parking lot.
So this is where she was. This is where she had the vehicle, the cab, drop her off. Okay. If you guys want to know right where,
Coventry Drive, then turn left into the parking lot.
This is right where. Let me see if my it looks like maybe somebody didn't. I think I might have just found my little clicker for my tripod. It fell yesterday. Hold on a second.
Head east.
Look what I found. Out in the parking lot where it took a nosedive. Look. It fell off my tripod. And so I just found it. I'm like, when I got back to the hotel room, I realized, oh my gosh, it still works. I didn't even run over it. It hasn't even been ran over. See the blue button flashing. Can you guys see the blue button? Blue button still flashing. I can't believe nobody ran this over. Hot dog! It fell off my tripod when I broke my phone yesterday. So we just found the clicker. We just found my tripod clicker. Oh, that's so nice. That's so funny. But this is where let me just show you. This is where I dropped the phone yesterday. It was this right there. I was right there in that corner. A gust of wind came over and it fell toward the car right here. But right there, that little corner right there. I was sitting right. I had my thing right there thinking it was protected by the wind. Nope. And it went slap down, and I just found my little clicker right there. That's where my clicker was. It was right there. Nobody ran over it. I'm absolutely miffed that nobody ran over my clicker. My clicker's been out there all night because I did that yesterday afternoon, like around 3 or 4:30. So it's been out there for, what is it, like 10:30 now? 4:35, so about 7, 9, so about 15 or 16 hours, something like that. All right, let's crank this bad boy back up. Let's go. So this is the CVS. This is where the cab took her. Let's go to the next place. So the next place that's on our list for more is she was seen. So we don't know what happened here. So she was here. Oh, sorry guys. I keep forgetting this thing does that. I guess every time I crank up the car, it's going to put me in that Android. I gotta download something and figure out how to get the Android Auto to work on this phone. But either way, until we get to that point, I'm not worried about it. But every time I crank up the car, it's going to trigger me to do something. So she was here. We don't know where she was at a facility. We know that a cab dropped her off here at this CVS, and we don't know what time. We have no earthly idea what time she was physically dropped off here, or even if she went inside this building. We don't know. When I'm done with this tour, I'm going to come back and I'm going to go in and start asking some questions and some people, whatever. Oh, there's Lexington Sheriff right there. But either way, we're here at the CVS where the cab dropped her off. So where did she go from the time she was dropped off here to when she showed up? That's Publix. Hold on. When she showed up at the Planet Fitness. Let's go to the Planet Fitness. At 6:38. So now we have over 3 hours. She's missing for 3 hours. Her husband could have picked her up. Her friend could have picked her up. Her boyfriend, right? She could be having, we don't know. We don't know these people, folks. We don't know their lifestyle. So something happened to her unless she took an Uber, right? But did she have her phone? Could she have taken an Uber? Could she have called somebody? Did she go in here to call somebody? We really just don't know. We don't know anything. What we do know is that she was observed 3 hours later at the Planet Fitness. Her husband professes that he did not see her from the time she was released from this facility that we have no idea what facility that they're referring to. So I'm going to get out because I want to show you guys this. It's very, very interesting. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Apparently I need to have my foot on the brake. I didn't have my foot on the brake. And it's like, you're not going anywhere, lady. Okay, so now let's go over to the Planet Fitness. So from here, she was
the parking lot
here between 3 and 4 o'clock. She was here between 3 and 4 o'clock. And then she arrives over at the Planet Fitness and checks in at 6:38. So where was she for 3 hours? Big chunk of time missing. Huge chunk of time missing. So I think we go this way. Okay, yes. Okay, and now we're going to go back. Oh, let me turn this around. So we come out of, so CVS is right there. And we come out of CVS on this road here, and then we're going to be making a left. Now, from this road here, we make a left and go to the Planet Fitness. This is where things are getting a little skewered, right? Well, they were already skewered. Why was she in this facility? Why didn't her husband go get her? So we've already got some skewered stuff. But according to the timeline of everything that we know, there's chunks of hours missing from her time. For example, from the time the cab dropped her off to the time she went to Planet Fitness, 3 hours, big chunk of hours is just missing from the day. We don't know where her time is. Then also from Planet Fitness to Publix, which is just down on the other end of the complex, it went from 6:38 to 9:17. Why in the world is she walking all the way down to Publix, the Publix complex? Was she walking home? Did she forget she drove? Is it because she parked in Lowe's? Or did her husband follow her, track her down, realize she was at the gym, and decided to move her car to trigger a disassociated situation? We have to look at this from different angles because we don't know who these people are. And we're hearing everybody screaming bloody murder about her husband, about how bad he was to her. We got to remember, he's 10 years older than her as well. So there's that kind of authoritarian power that comes with more of, I don't want to say that, I was in a relationship where my my ex-husband was, 10 years older than I was. I was still I'm still the alpha female, no matter how you look at it, I'll always be an alpha female. So she just doesn't seem like that. She seems like he's the controlling party of, and we're talking about Southern men here, and Southern men are, they're more manly than our city men. Everybody in my chat's ready to smack me. I see the eyes. I felt the eyes raised when I said that. Oh, good gracious. So we go up here, 450 feet. Yeah, we're going this way. I'll get on there we go. So then we're coming up here, 3 minutes. Again, where did she get the car? So if she was dropped off at the CVS, she would have had to walk all of this. So she would have walked on here. So I don't see why she wasn't picked up on cameras from this bank, cameras from this Chick-fil-A. All these cameras from these businesses. There's Bank of America. There's a Bank of America. There's a Starbucks, AT&T. There's places here that have cameras on the outside of their buildings. She would have been walking on the road here unless she had already had her car. According to the statements, her husband picked up her car at the Lowe's. How did she get the car if she was dropped off by cab? There's a 3-hour chunk there. Did she walk back home herself? Did she walk home and get her car? And then the next question comes is like everybody's saying that she was she wasn't living at home with him, that they were separated. Well, if they were separated, where was her car? Was her car at her friend's house? Did she see her friend? Where is the friend? Who's come forward about this case? Who's come forward about this case? Once we get up here to the Planet Fitness, we're going to get out and we're going to walk. Because we're going to see how long it takes to walk this. So you guys are going to want to stay with me while we get a good understanding of what happened. I feel like I'm hearing something beep, 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 and I don't know what it is. I think it's my camera, my body camera. I think my body camera is on. I think I got it enabled. If you guys know anything about me, I always wear a body camera on me wherever I go anymore because of the stalking and the harassment from the hate channels. Much like Queen
At the next
Bee
light, turn left.
and the other pieces of shit that are like her channel. We have to do extra stuff to protect ourselves out here in the field because we've got crazy felons that like to
light,
stalk
turn left
people
onto
for
Whiteford
covering
Way.
true crime
Then you'll
cases.
take your first left into the parking lot.
I hope that lady gets freaking arrested, and I hope her children are freed from the oppression of that fucking psycho lady. Allegedly, and in my opinion. And allegedly, in my opinion, is all that matters. Okay. So, and I'll never stop
Turn
saying
left
that.
into the parking lot.
All right, guys, here we are. Here's the Planet Fitness. We are going to stop. We are going to park. We are going to get out. We are going to walk. We are going
Planet
to
Fitness is on the left.
stroll. As a Planet Fitness person, I just wanted to let you guys know I love Planet Fitness, but I don't use them to work out. I use them to take showers. I'm on the road when I sleep in my car. So I'm not a heathen. Because there's literally a, I don't need my glasses. There's literally, actually, let me see. Where's my glasses? I'm not taking this. All right. All right. I got to get the handheld. Here's the handheld. Ugh. Hi, guys. We're back, Jack. I hope you guys are doing well. Elena Moore. We are covering the Elena Moore case. We have you guys hooked up on a new phone because we broke the Samsung yesterday, but thank God, by the grace of God, we got ourselves a new phone and we got ourselves a handy dandy large. You guys have seen this. I've had one of these. I've got 2 or 3 of these at the house right now, but I didn't bring it with me, so I bought another one. We can always use an extra one, especially since the other ones I have, I've had them for years, so they've been shipped, beat up, banged up, you know, the whole kit and caboodle. Let me go ahead and take you guys off here. Give me just a second while I put you guys. All right, guys, we're back. We're back, Jack. Okay, so let's go ahead and get moving so we can go for a walk here. And let's all right. So let's go for a little bit of a scavenger hunt here. All right, so this right here is the Planet Fitness that Elena was at, okay? So Elena was here. We're not gonna go in and disrupt people, but we are gonna walk right out here because this is the front window right here. This is the front door right there. So that's where we saw her. She was at the counter, and we don't know which way she went from out here. We don't know if she went back there and walked around or if she went out here and walked around. Go out here because this is where I parked, but I'm going to show you both ways here. So did she leave here, come out here and realize her car was not where it was supposed to be out in this parking lot? I really don't know. And we don't know if she went through the parking lot to the stop sign on the other end or if she came out here. According to what we know, there is the Lowe's right there, as you guys can see. So Planet Fitness, then we got the Lowe's. Now, behind the Lowe's here, there's a drive, and you can get to it from the back of this Planet Fitness. So if you went out the door and went on that side to the stop sign, it would drive you back here to this drive between these two buildings, okay? And you would drive right back up here, and then you'd be back here in this parking lot. So when I came over here to look and figure out what this means, as you guys can see, this parking lot is fairly, you know, filled with people, right? It's pretty full. And then when you turn around here, you see this parking lot over here. It's got plenty of parking. So there's no reason for somebody that's going to be parking or working out in Planet Fitness to actually not park in the Planet Fitness parking lot, but rather to come over here. And there's where you drive through from the back side if you went the opposite way through here. So we don't know where in this parking lot Elena's husband said she picked up her vehicle, but why in the world would she go over there to work out or to go in and have her car out here in the parking lot? It doesn't make sense. Now, when we're out here, the one thing you'll notice on this building, no cameras. No cameras. We don't see any cameras at all, anywhere on the outsides of these buildings. Now, where in this parking lot was she at? We don't know. We're going to walk through this whole entire parking lot here, folks, because this is going to take us over to... Now, we do have some cameras. Let's go up here. Let's look at the front here, so in case she did walk out. Ooh, look at those prices on the riders. I got mine for $1,500. Doesn't look like we're getting one for $1,500 anymore. Ooh, doggy. Look at that. $6,000 just to mow a freaking yard. Woo, woo, woo. I think I need to take better care of my rider. I probably won't be able to afford another one. Oh, good gracious. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm having a heart attack. Okay, so what do we got here? Look up here. Nope, not one blessed camera. I'll be damned, with all of this stuff out here, man, they have some trust with some people. I'm from Florida. If you don't tie it down, the shit don't stay. I'm just saying. They got this stuff all locked down. No cameras. Holy smokes, folks. Nothing. Nothing. Mattress Firm, you can see right here off of Mattress Firm, nothing. There's no cameras on the outside of that either. Nothing. Holy. We got a Panera Bread over there. No cameras. So this is how we believe she walked. Now, she was here at 6:48. Didn't we hear, let me go to a place where I can read the chat. So this is where we would go. She's on the other end of all of this. So let's keep, I want to show you guys where she went. We'll have to walk back. I guess we're getting our cardio today. So this is how she would have walked. Why would she? Let me get over here to the shade and let's just turn you guys around real quick. All right, so we're about to get over. This right here is the plaza. All the way to the end is where Publix would be. Actually, let me turn you around here. So this right here across this street is the Lowe's. And then on the other side of the Lowe's is the Planet Fitness. So you guys saw we just walked down that entire plaza from Planet Fitness here. And as you see that? There's another road. That goes to the road behind Planet Fitness. If we would have went out, remember I showed you the stop sign down there? You would have pulled out right there. Right there is where you would have walked out from. So there's two ways to get here. We took one route. That may not be the route she took. She may have taken this route up here and walked down this road all the way here. She may not even have saw her car over there at in the Lowe's parking lot. And the question is why? You know, we have to ask, did she park it there herself, or did she park it out in front of Planet Fitness and realize that her husband came and took her car, or thought he took her car, and come to find out all he did was take it and move it into the Lowe's parking lot just to F with her. Or again, we cannot lose the fact that she was showing disassociated type of behaviors and very paranoia, schizophrenic type of hallucinations and behaviors. You know, is this a medical or mental health break, or is this truly a you know, something that her husband did to her? Again, we have to caution everybody. There are no signs of trauma on her body. None. Zero. So while he may have been the one that completely just fried her brain and took her over the edge, he's not the one that physically hurt her, much like J.P. Miller. Remember, he was the catalyst of why she was dead, but he didn't physically harm her. And here we have, here it is. Here's Kohl's right here. Flip this camera around. Here's Kohl's. Now, as you see on Kohl's, there are outside cameras. You see one right there on the front door. So why didn't they have this? Why wasn't this picked up? You see there's two cameras. There's one on this front door. There's one on the very, very front of this pointing out to the parking lot. And then you got TJ Maxx. Now that plaza all the way over there where TJ Maxx is, all the way to the end of this is where the Publix is. So let's just keep walking, because this would be her path of travel that she would have taken. At least that's what we assume. Again, she didn't show up here to the Publix until 6:17. Is it because she worked out at the gym at Planet Fitness for a couple hours, walked out and realized her car was gone and started walking this way? And why would she walk this way? Is it because she didn't have her car? She didn't have her keys? Or she had her keys but her phone was in her car and her car was moved on her? You know, we just don't know. But here's Kohl's. This is the only place that has cameras on the outside of the building. When we get over here to this plaza where she was ultimately seen all the way to the end at Publix, 0 cameras on the outside of this. But look at all these people in the daytime utilizing this area. Now granted, this is morning during the week, not early evening. I have to think that early evening, there's probably a lot of people. Why didn't anybody see her you know, needing help? I'm not walking all the way down there. It's getting too hot. It's getting too hot. We'll go get in the car and drive down here. So you guys got to see, well, we made it to Kohl's, and then we'll go and get the TJ Maxx. But it seems to me, based on my timing that I'm looking at here, there it goes. Based on my timing here, it looks like she must have worked out at the Planet Fitness. The question is, why would she walk all the way down to Publix without her car? I mean, you're talking about a significant walk. We're not talking about a little walk. We're talking about, I mean, we've been walking now for a good 10 minutes, and we're not even a third of the way to the Publix. So it's about a 30-minute walk from Planet Fitness over to the Publix. A good 30-minute walk. And that's casually walking, which it seemed like she was. But again, just being out here, like I can feel the heat, and this is during the morning. It hasn't even gotten to the hottest heat spot yet. That usually happens around between 12 noon and 2 p.m. The hottest point of any day happens during those time frames. So she was out here, like she didn't even leave the facility until 2. If she had medication, some medication deplete the water out of your body. I don't know, there's just something leaning me to this heat stroke. It really is. It's leading me to this heat stroke. We're about to go over where her body was found, folks. So if you'd like to see that, you're going to want to stick around. It's very obvious where it happened at. So we're going to park the car and get out and go walk over to the area and show you guys. We can't really do a whole lot with the area because of the crime scene tape. I saw crime scene tape up, and I will never, ever, ever cross crime scene tape. We don't do anything to hinder law enforcement. Anything that we do, we try to help, whether they like it or not. But our intents are good. Whew, I gotta tell you, I'm glad she was a athlete or workout person, because this is quite the walk, and I haven't even made it a third of the way. We still got a long way to walk. Look. There. We still got a long ways to walk. Maybe I should have waited for the exercise before I ate McDonald's. But she was in a long sleeve shirt, workout, yoga jacket outfit. This is entirely too hot to be wearing that. If she worked out and depleted her water and didn't replenish that water, and she did this walk, and she was found 2 miles away from here to boot, I don't know, folks. I'm starting to lean. You guys know where I'm leaning. You guys know where I'm leaning. I'm leaning toward medical event. Now, could she have OD'd? Yeah, but it's hard for me to think that her friends wouldn't have known about a drug problem, you know? They may have known her being on medication prescribed by a doctor, which is what I presume she was on. But here's the expensive look at those. They are pretty though. I wish I had them. I wish I had the money for one. That's the one I want right there. The one with the little hood. But I wouldn't be picky. I'll take any of these too. Any of these low range beaters. I'll take one of these beaters. I'll take one of these hoopties. I can tell you it's a nice breeze right now. It's not too hot for this walk, but you can feel the heat heating up, folks. You can feel the heat heating up. All right, we're back to the Planet Fitness. We're gonna dock you guys, and then we're gonna drive to the Publix. Now, remember, she clocked in here at 6:38. She was seen at the Publix at 6:17. 6:17. So it seems like she came here to work out. Why did she lose her car? Somebody had to have moved her car. Husband is a PI. They're having marital problems. You're going to try to tell me that as a PI, he's not going to know how to follow his own wife when he's hired as a PI to follow other people's wives? Yeah, I don't know, folks. There's definitely something fishy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like she hid her car or parked it away from the shop so it wouldn't be so readily available. And I feel like she walked out and her car was gone. And people are going to ask, well, why in the world does she put her car over in Lowe's parking lot? And people are going to be like, we don't know. Why? Because there's no proof. There's no proof who did it. There's no cameras, folks. There's no... I'm hot. Oh, it feels so good. It's hot. It's hot. You guys hear me? It is hot. Hold on, guys. I'm about to plug you back in. It's going to do something to it as soon as I plug you in. It's going to try to hook up to the Android Auto, but it's not going to. So it's going to trigger my camera. So just bear with me. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get this thing. This is so tiny and so difficult. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not. There we go. Yeah, it's not doing my support by Android Auto. I don't know why. I think I have to download an app on the phone for it to work properly, but I don't care. It's hot. It's freaking hot. It is hot. It is hot. It is hot. Okay. So now that we all know that it is freaking pants on fire, hot, liar, blah, 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 blah. All right. So now let's go to the intersection of where her body is. This is going to be the most interesting because, again, when I saw this and saw where it was off of the trail, like, what was she doing back there? I guess is the first question that you have. What is she doing back there? But I think it's what kind of made me realize I think that this might be something like a heat stroke. Because when I played the tape through, there's just some things that don't make sense to me. One of those things that don't make sense to me is why did she keep walking? I feel like if her husband took her car and moved her car on her, I feel she would have called a friend and said, my husband dicked around with the car. I need you to come pick me up. I think she would have done it from inside the Planet Fitness. Like, why would she leave the Planet Fitness and start walking? Unless she remembered she didn't park her car at the Planet Fitness, she parked it somewhere else, maybe because she's in a paranoid, deluded state because she thinks her husband's after her when her husband's not. She's just having a schizophrenic, something hallucinogenic to her. I mean, we got to look at this. There's just too many things here that this lady was not acting right. Okay, the week leading up to her disappearance, she was not acting right. And we learned that she was being released from a facility. I'm sorry, that all sounds like mental health to me. Coupled with her husband saying and removing a post that said basically my wife is not well. I think she was having a psychotic episode. I think she was having a psychotic episode, folks. I think the reason why this sounds so spastic and so crazy is because I believe she was in a psychotic episode. I think she may have parked her car and forgot she parked her car. Why she would have went and walked, we don't know. We don't know if she had voices in her head telling her that her car is right around the corner. It's right here. It's right here. Just keep walking. Just keep walking. Now, mind you, she had just worked out. She's walking in this incredible heat. It's later at night now, so it's probably cooling off after 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock. It's probably getting nice and comfortable, but still, it's still South Carolina in June. It's still hot. It's still summer. So let's go ahead and start riding down to the, the Publix. Now, we just went this way. So remember I told you there's another way with a stop sign. We're going to go that way with the car because we just walked this way. So you've already seen this way. I think it'd be fruitless for us to drive the same way we just walked when there's another path there. We should see the other path, yeah? So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to switch this around. We're going to go the other way to the Kohl's. And then once we get to the Kohl's, we'll pick up there. Remember, at this point, Kohl's is the only one. None of these buildings have cameras around them. None of them on the outside. Obviously, South Carolina businesses aren't being sued enough. So attorneys in South Carolina, you guys are leaving a lot of money on the table. I'm just saying. It should be a lot more protected here in South Carolina for these people. If people are having crimes out in the parking lots, getting beat up out in the parking lots, those are crimes that there's civil suits there. There's contingency fee civil suits there for attorneys. Don't leave that money on the table. Don't leave that money on the table. This is good for you, it's good for your client, and it's good for making sure that we, the people, are safe. Okay, let me turn this around. So now we're going the other way. This is the entrance to the Planet Fitness that she was observed at the camera, right? We don't know where she left. She came out these doors. These are the only doors she can go in or out. Did she go this way or did she go the way we just went? We don't really know. So we already walked that way. I'm going to show you this way because a lot of people don't know that this right here exists. So could she have come out, didn't have her car, and decided to, okay, let's see what's going on here, right? I think this, oh, no, this is not. So we have to go that way. Maybe there isn't a way out here. Maybe it is that way. Okay, well, I guess there is only one way. So you can go this way if nobody's here, but there's a lot of semis there, or you can turn right here and go this way. I think she might have went that way with no semis. We had some semis, so that was the road right there that takes us out to the other side. So we're forced to go this way. If she was on foot, she would have walked that way. But again, don't see cameras back there. We've already been here. We know that there's no cameras here on the Lowe's. There is a Zaxby's. I don't see, there might be a camera that points this way. So there are cameras that points this way that might get, you know, maybe not see her specifically, but see her body, you know, moving or walking. But this right here, no cameras on the outside of this Lowe's. So no way of determining whether or not she came this way. We do have some businesses over to the left side of this, like in the front of this Lowe's. But their cameras are so far away, I don't know if they would be able to pick up anything. Now we're going over to where we were just at. This is across the street. This is taking us to the Publix. And again, this is the road right down there, right over here, that we were just going to go down, but they blocked us. It was the Lowe's little cut through. So now we're in the parking lot, in the plaza here, where the the Publix is. Now here is the Kohl's right here. As you can see, you can plainly see the cameras on the outside of this store. There's one right there at the entrance, and there's one right there on the building, right under the Kohl's sign, right there. So we do have some. Why they didn't pull these cameras, it makes me wonder why she wasn't on these cameras. They never put these cameras out to the public, but there are cameras. There are cameras. Now we're getting into the side that does have the Publix. This TJ Maxx, all of these businesses right along this strip here, not one camera on the outside of these stores. Now they may have some cameras on the inside of the stores pointing out kind of to the parking lot where they might be able to pick up some movement out here. But in this particular parking lot, 0 exterior cameras in the parking lot or on building here, period. So again, this is why they were unable to find her. This right here is a half an hour walk from the other end of this, and we're still not to the Publix. We're almost up to the Publix. There you see the little old ladies walking out right now. There's the Publix. There's somebody in the green shirt and the black apron. There's your Publix. This is how far the Publix is. This is the only building on this whole entire strip that has a camera on the outside of Kohl's. But she would have had to pass Kohl's in order to be here at Publix. And you can see, we're going to go up here and show you the camera that she was observed on. There was multiple cameras here, but you can see right here at the entrance, right there, the camera. Right, there it is. You see it up there? There's the camera. That's the exterior camera. That's the only camera on this side of the plaza down. There are no other exterior cameras on this plaza. So this is why we were able to see her on this plaza, and why it seemed like why we couldn't see her, you know, like with Riley Strain, we were able to follow him every block on every single camera up until a half of a mile window where he just disappeared forever. You know what I'm saying? So there we have it. Okay, so now let's go over to the spot where they have her body. Okay, here's the intersection. All right, we're going to the intersection now.
Exit the parking lot toward Old Cherokee Road, State Road S32485. Turn right onto Old Cherokee Road, State Road S32485.
And then she's 2 miles, or about a mile down. She's about a mile. They said 2 miles from the Publix. She's not. It's about a mile down the road from the Publix. 2 miles down the road from Planet Fitness. But she's only a mile down the road. I feel like I'm going to the... No, this is it right here. She's not even that far away. Let's get in here. We're going to go across the main road. This is the only place I can park legally. And then we'll go inside there and get ourselves a little beverage to make sure that
Turn left toward South Carolina 6 West.
All
Then
right,
you'll
guys.
take your first right onto South Carolina 6 West.
We're now officially on foot again. We're going to go see where she was lost. Or she was ultimately found, rather. Okay, give me a second. I'm undocking. Okay, guys. Look at this. I wish I could leave my car running. You know what I'm saying? So let me make sure this is off so we don't hear any type of... There. I want to turn the maps off. If I don't turn the maps off, then it's going to be barking at us the whole time we're Okay, so I'm not bringing anything, any chargers. We don't need them. This is our last stop for the day, folks. I'm gonna go back to the hotel room. I'm gonna get a shower. I'm gonna kind of start looking at some of the footage and getting some videos done, because this kind of takes care of our trip for the day. So we're parked over here. This is really the only business we have. Oh, sorry, I can turn you guys around here so you guys can see if I get you know. I get kicked. It seems like I should probably go across this road first, and then we'll cross, because it seems like we have more traffic on this side than we do on that side. So we'll get across the main part of the road first. Okay guys, we hit the button. So again, if you guys are just tuning in, we're going to where Alina Moore was found. It's a mile away from the Publix. So again, she was walking somewhere. So what happened? She has no marks on her like she was hit by a car or something, but it's really strange where they ultimately found her. And we're going to get over there, and we're going to be, oops, it's my time to cross. Whoops. I didn't realize I had a crosswalk sign, and I'm sitting there talking when I should be walking. Okay, we're finally here. I'm gonna hit this cross button. Gotta pay attention. Oh, okay, there's the sign. All right, so that's where we're going right there. We got to get across the road first. All right, you're walking. Always follow the crosswalks if you can, because they keep you lawfully, legally safe. If somebody hits you inside of a crosswalk, they're absolutely at fault. You do not want to be at fault in your own medical bills or fixing somebody's car. So here we're coming up to it. We have a little pond, like footbridge here. And again, like I said, we're not going to go into the woods because there's a path down there I can see though. There is a path. And as you can see, this is not really very inviting. Like somebody walking here, you'd be walking on the outside, not the inside. But for all intents and purposes, we're going to be walking on the inside of this. Here it is, folks. So this is where she lost her life. And as you can see, there's still crime scene take back there. So it's, you know, we can't really go back there. There's a cross. I can't get this any smaller than that, but there's a cross right there. And it says 1986 to 2026 Elena Moore. So there you guys go, right there. There we go. So again, here's the memorial for her. Right down here is a cross, and that cross says her date of year, which is 1986 to 2026. And we have all of these balloons right here, really just honoring and loving her. Let me, you know what? Let me set you guys up just real quick. Hopefully, we won't break this phone. But I need to get some footage on my other phone. I should have brought my cameras, but I didn't bring my cameras. You guys see that? Can you guys see the tape? You guys would have to. It looks like it's there. All right, give me just a sec. Yeah, that's not gonna. Sorry guys, I gotta get some footage. Alright guys, I think that's it. There's not really a whole much more to see than this, and I'm telling you, I'm looking at all the details of this case, and it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. And when things don't make a lot of sense, I got to figure out why it doesn't make sense, you know? And how she got down there, there's foot trails. There's foot trails down there. I don't know if you guys can see there, but there's foot trails all down there. I wish I had a better... The camera doesn't want to zoom in as good as I'd like it to zoom in on this one, but... You know, it appears that there are some trails down there. It's not allowing me to focus it. Sorry, guys. I'll have to adjust some of the settings on here. Better quality. I just got the phone today, so we'll get it. But you guys can see here. Here's what we've got going on here. Could she have just been walking by here and just fell over? Just fell? Right here? I mean, this whole area is cordoned off as a crime scene, but we don't know where her specific body was. We do see the cross right there, but it's outside of the line, the crime scene line, I would presume. But there looks like there's some walking trails back there, and she might have been on some walking trails. Just you know, for some curiosity purposes. There it is. Alright guys, let me get one more photo of this. Sorry, you guys are going to be on the ground for a second. Sorry about that. Let me just get this in a video. All right, guys, I think we're done. We're gonna get across this. All right, guys, it's been a very hot day. It's only like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm freaking sweaty. I'm disgusting. I need a bath. Holy crap. I'm freaking sweaty from head to toe. I feel gross. I feel absolutely gross. So, All right, guys. Now we're back at the intersection. We're gonna do our little thing. Okay. They barely give you just a night. I mean, like this is like a 4 or 5 lane road, and they barely give you enough. I'm like moving. I don't see how little old ladies and people disabled are gonna get across this road. Like I'm well bodied and I'm barely making it. Look at that. I'm getting here like 5 seconds till. And I was hustling. Like I felt my little glutes jiggling and smacking together trying to get across this. They just don't give you enough time. Barely enough time for a little old lady to cross. What if they were there in a walker? Or for heaven's sakes, blind? They would never make it across it. Oh, guys, we have a traffic camera. We have a traffic camera. How did this not pick her up? We have another one. We have more. We got cameras, folks. We got cameras on these things. We got traffic cameras here. We got traffic cameras here. Interesting. Interesting, folks. Okay. I'm supposed to be walking. Come on. See, I'm telling you, I'm a trucking, and I'm barely getting across this little lane. Look at that, 10 seconds. Holy smokes, I'm gonna die. That was so frustrating. Of course, leave it to the fucking Apple. Again, it overheated and decided to just completely shut down on me. So it's nice to see everybody. I'm hot as shit. I'm now frustrated as all get out. What Apple? I'm so sick of the Apple. My air conditioning's up massively high because I had to cool the fucking Apple down. I hate fucking apples. Did I tell you guys? Good gracious, stop. Okay, let's see where we're going here. I think we're going back to the room. We've gone everywhere. Did you guys get this phone? I don't know if I like this phone. This phone's like doing all stuff. You guys with all these like Cricket Wireless and stuff like that. These phones got gremlins in it. I can't even speak. I'm so freaking hot. Guys, I'm burning up. I'm hot. I'm exhausted. Like my hair is sweat filled. Like I feel gross. I've got to go back and take a and you're telling me this lady is doing this. She had a fucking heat stroke. Excuse my language, but I think this lady had some type of medical event. Could she have fallen off that thing? She could have absolutely fallen off that thing. She could have been walking. You guys got to remember, it was freaking 9 o'clock at night. She was observed on the cameras a mile up the road at 9:17 at night. It was pitch black when she was walking this way. It was pitch black. So at first when I started looking at it, I thought maybe she was hit by a car. And I was like, no, if she was hit by a car, there would be, Betty, trust the process, wants to meet up with you if you have time. I'll have time later today. I think I reached out to her. I just need a shower. I'm hot as all get out. We had a very wackadoo day today already. I mean, it's not even noon and we've already had a full freaking day. We've already went to we've covered 2 cases today. We went all the way to Aiken County to cover a 4-year-old. There wasn't a whole lot we could get from the 4-year-old, and then we were here to do the Elena Moore thing and to look at what all transpired and to see if there's any culpability of the husband. I know that every single marriage has their own history of issues, okay? No matter what you look at, a married family is going to have, skeletons in their closet. They're going to have marital problems. We all have them. We all have stuff. She had no bruises. I'd assume she fell off that wall. I think what happened, she died. I think she died and she fell. And when she fell over. That's what I think happened. if she was on the top. Now, there's walking trails down there at the bottom that we could see. So she could have went down here and cut over through the woods. Like there's a place, there's a little spot right there in the woods that you can cross and walk through. So did she know about those or did she not know about those? We don't know. We don't know what she knew about. I'm just not feeling this grand scheme of premeditated murder here, folks. Which is one of the reasons why we come out here, because when people are confused, they're confused because things don't make sense. I can tell you the story does not make sense. But what I'm seeing here, and I think the reason why it doesn't make sense is I think that there's mental health issues involved in this particular case. And whether the family or friends want to acknowledge it or not, there's a disassociated persona about her. Now, how she got that way is up for debate, okay? Whether it was her husband or whether it was self-induced or whether it was just a mental break. Listen, folks, there are people all over this world that are absolutely normal 1 minute and something happens to them. And they absolutely break. Did I get super chats? Oh my goodness, I didn't even see it. I see $7 here. Oh my gosh. Aletha, I didn't get much sleep last night. Be safe. Oh, Betty safe, you're amazing. Go to snooze. Okay, thank you guys. Wow, I'm sorry I missed that. I did not see those. So thank you for that. I just happened to look up and see. Corey, Betty can cuss. I have a sailor's mouth. I do. I have an absolute sailor's mouth. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about. I don't like we have. I'm a good person. I got a great heart, and we do have a lot of clergy people that, believe it or not, listen to the Bullhorn Betty channel. And the one thing that they hate more than anything in the world is the cussing. I cuss and I say the F-bomb, and there's nothing more unpalatable to a man of the cloth than the F-bomb, right? I really do, very rarely do I say Jeebas, the actual word, the vain word, or GD. I occasionally you might catch me saying those, but it like literally slips out. Those are kind of no-nos for me, but I every now and again I'll just, it just tumbles right out of the mouth before I can catch it, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be in trouble. Our peeps are gonna get us, and we're gonna be in trouble. So we've covered 2 cases out here in South Carolina. Both, I'm hoping that we have some positive news for the little girl, but just my gut feeling, the way they're acting out there, I really think that this poor little girl, if she ran away from home, she's going to be found. She's going to be fished out of a pond. It's unfortunate, or a ravine. It's unfortunate, but this case is I want to have hope. I don't want to be so bleh. It's just we see so many of these and we know how they turn out. It just does. If Elena left a psychiatric facility against a MA, her psychotropics were not being monitored for correct combo and dose level, it could have messed her up. Yeah, if they gave her something inside there and then she, they didn't stabilize her and she's demanding to be left out to leave. That would probably explain the why they got her a cab versus allowing her to have somebody from her family or friends pick her up. She left against medical advice. Sometimes those places, they can keep you, especially psychiatrists and psychiatric places, they can keep you if they feel or can prove that you're going to be a harm to yourself or others. And again, I think that this facility might have some culpability in what we're dealing with here. I mean, if she forced herself out against medical advice, then they're not on the hook because they knew she needed help and they were begging her to stay. She just didn't. I don't know, guys, I just don't know. I want to say that This is kind of hard in a sense to fathom because we don't know these people, and we have this guy that, you know, had an an internal internal affairs investigation where he lost his, you know, law enforcement certificate. He can't be a police officer anymore. And he ended up going into PI to have a suitable profession. And it just makes you wonder what kind of person he is in the grand scheme of things. And then likewise her, according to the people that spoke out, that pointed the finger at Brannon, it seems like they were having marital problems. But just because people have marital problems and somebody loses their life doesn't mean that the person that they're having marital problems killed them. And I want to make sure that we differentiate those things, because so many times in our business, it is the husband, it is the boyfriend that, you know, the person's leaving their clutches and they brutalize them and murder them. And we've seen those cases pan out. But one thing that we've seen is trauma to those individuals, physical trauma, trauma that is visible and very well noticeable. Okay, if she was in a struggle and she got bruised as a part of that, she laid out here for several days dead. Those bruises would almost magnify. They would be more visible with lividity and all of that other stuff. So they're saying she's got no bruising, she's got no signs of trauma. That means if she's got no signs of trauma, she's got no signs of defensive markings on her. Her putting up a fight, her fighting with an individual. We have to look at that, so much so that they're looking into her toxicology screening. And they're probably going to be doing some other things, cutting her open, cutting her brain out, looking and inspecting her brain, inspecting her heart, her kidneys, her liver, her lungs, her pancreas. All of these things are going to have to be examined at this point, weighed, maybe even biopsy, cut up and put on slides to see if there's anything that anybody can see. But I feel like they're, just based on the information, even if her husband was beating the shit out of her, I feel like she would have had bruises all over her. But they found no bruises on her, not from head nor toe, okay? No bruises. That means she hadn't been in a fight, hadn't been in a physical altercation with anybody in at least 2 weeks. And she's dead. And she's dead with no visible signs of trauma, which is a little perplexing to me, because if she had fallen from the embankment at the top where we were down, she would have trauma on her body. She would have some form of trauma on her body. The smack, the hit, the abrasion of the fall, especially dead weight, if she was completely deceased at the time she hit the ground, I feel like she had to have already been back there. Like she would have already had to have been in that area, maybe on the footpath, the foot trail. I feel like she thought her husband took her car and she was walking home. And if he hit her car, just to put this out there, and even if she had a medical event that killed her, he would be responsible for manslaughter, because he's the contributing factor of why she was out here walking home to have a heat stroke, to die. So the only way I think that they'll ever be able to prove whether he moved that car is his cell phone data, or catching him on a license plate reader, a camera like that. I don't know, guys. I really don't. I don't know. I think that this is very unfortunate. I think there were good things going on in their family that the world wasn't aware of. Husbands and wives, especially when it comes to mental illness, those things are very rarely talked about. Even with one's best friend, one may choose not to discuss their medical stuff with them. Is it possible that they've been struggling with her mental health for years, and because they were able to cover it up, it went unnoticed for so long? It's possible. And I think it's important for us to understand how possible that combination can be. I really, truly believe it's possible. So, as unfortunate as it is, everything that I found out, now I'm going to be going back and getting on the phone and calling some people and talking to some people to see if people would be willing to discuss some things with me about this case. But for the most part, everything that I'm seeing right now, it appears to be, I just don't see where the husband, and like I said, without those few caveats, I don't see where the husband could be a contributor to her death. Now, it might have been the catalyst. He might have just been so horrible to her that he ended up is the one that made her finally flip her wig. She was under so much stress from him that she, you know, something in her broke. And we've heard about stories like that as well. But I don't know. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to head back to the room. We're going to get set up in the room. In about a couple hours, we'll break this case down. I'm going to work on some videos, get those videos out. If you guys could do me a solid and check those videos, you know, watch those videos, because those take me 10 times longer than a live stream. And we're going to try to get some of that footage out. But I got to tell you, everything I'm seeing here right now, nothing's leading me to believe he stalked her, that he did this to her. I can't even prove he even knew she was out of the facility. Can you imagine thinking your wife is in a facility and then finding out that she was released from the facility a day before and she never came home? And then 5 days later, she's dead? I would be so fucking angry. I would be so angry. While the world is sitting here blaming me, you know, I would be hurt and angry about what happened. So I just want to put a little, you know, perspective here. Right now, I think we should be showing Brannon a little bit of grace until we learn a little bit more about this, because I'm not saying he's a perfect husband, but I don't think he had anything to do with this, folks. I mean, short of something, some other information, I don't see how he could ever remotely be considered. Again, she has no trauma. That's not indicative of a man beating the shit out of her. She has no trauma. This is going to come down to medical or OD. And I really don't think it's OD. You know, I think they had some things going on in their relationship, you know, 13 years ago. But things that went on in my marriage, you know, in the beginning of our marriage didn't happen later on in our marriage. So, I don't know. There's my assessment with everything that we've learned about the case of Elena Moore. I'm not seeing the husband. Now, could he be a J.P. Miller? He absolutely could be a J.P. Miller. But at the end of the day, J.P. Miller did not kill Micah. And we all know that. He didn't physically hurt her that day. And at the end of the day, Brannon Slice could be the biggest piece of garbage husband in the whole entire world and still not be responsible for this. He didn't physically hurt her today. And clearly she hadn't been physically hurt in at least 2 weeks because there was no bruises on her. So where do we go from here? I don't know. We'll talk about it in a few hours. I'm going to take a break. It is now 11:20. We'll be back by about 2 o'clock, and then we'll be on live from 2 o'clock on. And then whenever we end our 2 o'clock live, we're done. I'm going to be packing up my room. I'm going to be getting on the road, and guess where I'm going to be tomorrow? I'm going to be in Washington, D.C., celebrating with a bunch of Front Row Joes the birthday of our independence here in America. It's going to be a historical event. I get to be part of history. I have been blessed to work very, very hard along with a bunch of other good-hearted patriots to be known as the Front Row Joes. And the Front Row Joes are synonymous with President Donald J. Trump. And every opportunity he gets from the podium, he calls us out by name. And that is an absolute honor. And I am a very blessed woman. If you would have told me 10 years ago or 15 years ago that this would be my life, I wouldn't believe you, because I was in a very, very, very dark spot, you know, in my marriage, in a lot of different aspects of my life. And to think that I was able to wake up one day and change the trajectory of my life, and to change the trajectory of my life for forever, I would never believe I would have the courage or the strength to do something like that. But I did, and here I am, and this is all part of my story. It's part of my walk. It's part of how we as human beings can literally make a decision that we want to change every single thing about us, and to be reborn into a new butterfly. And with just a little bit of work, we come out of a cocoon a different person. And I hope everybody that's struggling in life, you know, gets that opportunity. It's not easy. There was a lot of, and still are, a lot of tough nights, a lot of tears shed. But I'm very blessed and honored. And while I may have a weird American dream, I'm still living my American dream. And I don't know. I get to go and really go down in history with our independence, 250 years. Bullhorn Betty, Front Row Joes, Donald J. Trump. I don't know. I'm very, very proud of the work that I've done and of things I've accomplished. So we'll leave it at that. Anyways, guys, you have a great day. We'll be back in a couple hours to discuss Elena Moore's case a little more. And we're going to dive into more of the history of the case. And then, of course, our drive to DC, we're going to be back on track with our Nancy Guthrie coverage. And our Nancy Guthrie coverage will be all-inclusive. We know that there's been a lot of nuances going on that we broke here on the Bullhorn Betty channel about the case. And while we don't have any breaking news today, we haven't looked for any breaking news. So I'll be looking for that and giving you guys updates first thing in the morning on our way to DC. So be here, be there, be square. We appreciate all the love that you guys show us. And it looks like we might have something else that came in. Did I miss something? Oh, please see my last chat. Oh, Chris, it's nice to see you, love. Okay, let me go back. But I keep wanting to. I'm not used to this phone. I'm about to turn you guys all off. Chris. Let's go back. Hey, Blackhawk, it's nice to see you. You're going to be that perfect librarian for a lucky man. Oh, good gracious, Corey. Hold on, Chris. I'm trying to find you. I don't know how long ago that was. We don't have a lot of people in our chat, so give me a second. I'll keep going until I find you, Chris. I'll keep going until I find you. Why do you say that? Okay, so how do you think she died, and why do you say that? Chris, you're going to have to help me out here. Now, are you talking about why did I say that? Why do I think this is a medical event? Is that what you're referring to? I apologize. I probably flooded the chat, but I think you're really something. Well, thank you, Corey. So I'm assuming you're referring to why I say I think she died from health. No, wrong chat before that. Okay, before that. Okay. There's Chris. Why do you say that? He said before that. Okay, let's keep going back. Oh, please see my last chat. Okay, now I see your comment. Okay, so I was supposed to go even further. F it. Who cares what you say, how you say it on your channel? Okay, is that what you're referring to, or is there more? Hold on, let me keep going back and make sure I don't miss anything else. Betty, can you see the spot she was found? I don't know where she was found. You can see that back there. It's a long little area that's cut off by yellow tape. It's a big area. It's not small. But there were somebody climbed down there and made a stone heart and put a cross right there. Now, I'd have to assume she was further back in the woods than right there. But I can't see where, like with Brian Laundrie, they pounded a nail into the ground right where his body was so they could find it again. And you could smell, like, it was potent. And we were standing right on top of where they found Brian Laundrie. So we could tell that this was the spot, and we could smell it was the spot. This is much higher. I don't know how to get down there. I see police tape, so I'm not going to. I can't see any impression just on the top of the ground where she might have been laying, or she might have been found, or like where Brian Laundrie, like you could see like this, it was like a wet, like even when they tried to cover it up, it looked very wet, and it was very putrid smelling. So you couldn't smell it like even 5 feet away from once you got on top of it, it hit you like a ton of bricks. That was the spot. I didn't get that there. I didn't see any type of wetness, because when the body breaks down, it leaves, I don't want to go through it. You guys get the gist of it. But you leave an impression. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that there. Is it because, she all the stuff is right there to celebrate her, but she was further back? The area was very open. Like there was a little area, like a little window in that shrubbery, in that thick foliage. There was like a window right there where you guys could see, where we could just see all the way back. Now, did they cut all that down to get her out? I don't know. We'll have to go back to some of that footage when she was found and see if we can find any footage of them seeing her being brought out of the area. Maybe that'll help us find out how she got into that area. I feel like she could have just fallen right over the edge here, but there was such a drop down that she would have had signs of some type of trauma falling. They're saying there's no signs of trauma unless they've already attributed to the markings on her body attributed to the fall. Therefore, other than those, there was no signs of trauma on her body. And they specifically spoke out no signs of stabbing, gunshots, strangulation, nothing that could show any type of violent trauma happening to her before she met her demise. So I think that's what you're referring to, Chris. And yes, there's a lot of cameras around. There's cameras here, and there's a really good traffic camera, but there's a traffic camera on each one of these lights here. So the state and the county, this is South Carolina, okay? They ain't turning their lights off, for the animals. This is not Pima County, okay? This is South Carolina. So they monitor their traffic cameras, okay? South Carolina monitors, they don't turn them off for the criminals, okay? or the animals. They keep them on because they want to catch the criminals and they want to make sure the animals are safe. So therefore, South Carolina does it right. They put cameras up that actually work. So I think that very secure, AIKEN is very secure. Nuclear power plant. Yeah, they had some businesses out there in AIKEN, which again, you know, we drove out there, and the one thing that concerns me the most about that poor little girl is the conditions of the environment out there. You know, she got out there in the woods. God knows what could happen to her, you know, with the animals. Not only that, but there's lakes, there's streams. South Carolina, there's rattlesnakes, there's water moccasins. There's all types of stuff that can hurt a little baby girl out in these woods. So it is sad. Savannah River site, every employee makes 6 figures. They want a gold digger? I didn't say gold digger. I said gold digger. G-O-A-L. G-O-A-L. Good gracious, guys. Get your heads out of the clouds. FBI has officially claimed the ransom notes are fake. No shit. We've been saying they were fake since the beginning. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a professional law enforcement. And sometimes I'm thankful that I'm not a retired law enforcement, because I feel like sometimes the law enforcement education and training puts you in a box. The way we do it is we think outside of the box. We get to the answers much quicker and much faster the way we do things than the way they do things. But at the end of the day, statistics and common sense really won the game over the ransom notes. So we're officially hearing from the FBI, physically, specifically from the FBI, the ransom notes are a hoax. Is that really surprising? No, it's not. All right, guys, we will see you back at the hotel. I'm going to do a live from a very cool bedroom in a couple hours. I'm going to eat some lunch. I know we just ate breakfast, but I am starving. So we're going to eat lunch. I've been out here hitting the pavement since like 6 o'clock this morning. I have been working for 6 hours, 5.5 hours, 6 hours at this point. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go take a shower. I'm going to go cool my body. And we're going to prepare for a live broadcast, not just on Elena. Elena's going to be videos, but we're going to go back to Nancy Guthrie and these ransom notes. We're finding out all the ransom notes are fraudulent. They're fake. And we've been reporting that. If you guys want the truth in true crime news, you are going to want to be on the Bullhorn Betty channel. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you love information about true crime cases and you want the truth that's not bought and paid for, not paid for by clicks and views, you are going to get that information here on the Bullhorn Betty show. Do we make mistakes? Of course we do. We are human beings. Every single human being that I know makes mistakes. Do we intend to make mistakes? Of course not. Our hearts are always in the right spot, and our hearts are always about the truth, and that's what we provide our audience. And once again, we went down the rabbit hole of the ransom notes, even though I just did not believe them. Even though I kept putting the caveat, I do not believe them, I still think we needed to take a look at it because my bias was standing in the way, and we didn't even look down that avenue. We didn't even look down that trail of whether they were legitimate or not. We looked down them. There was only one thing that made me believe that they were legitimate. Everything else, we even gave you guys all the receipts of why I didn't believe it, including but not limited to them never wanting law enforcement involved, and they waited 9 to 10 hours after the first press conference to ever even send in the first ransom note. And so we said that we thought from the very beginning, liar, liar, pants on fire, there was another motivation that brought this masked gunman to Miss Nancy Guthrie's house. And we stayed true to ourselves and stayed true to common sense. Common sense. And asking the tough questions that everybody that kept saying these ransom notes are legitimate refused to answer. And that includes Jennifer Coffindaffer, because I've asked her several pointed questions about the wrench attack notes and why she believed these wrench or why they believed it. And she would not answer the question. She would not answer the question. And we went around 3 different times. I finally thanked her for her time. She never answered my questions. So, you know, and I've got to call her out because still to this day, she never answered my questions. And we just wanted to know what was the identifying markers that made this a wrench attack eligible, you know, for the company that was saying it was a wrench attack and that they verified it was a wrench attack. And I'm thinking, how did they verify this? What was the criteria? And she never answered the criteria. She could have gotten me in touch with somebody there to speak to them about it. You know, there's a number of things. I mean, it wasn't like I was asking her to club her over the head, but I did want to know how this all, you know, I figured, you know, I'm just stupid, which is what law enforcement likes us to believe. They like to confuse us and make us feel stupid. And as long as we feel stupid, we're always dependent on them. And I push back on that. You know, I didn't believe these ransom notes. It sounds like we were right in telling this. My GF called Jennifer. I don't like calling her out. She's a sweet lady and she's giving us her experiences, but there are some things that she does, in my opinion, if you're going to make a stand that this is a wrench attack and these are legitimate ransom notes, you need to explain all the nuances in why these ransom notes don't jive with what we traditionally are familiar or accustomed with related to ransom notes. And she wouldn't do that. And it just caused such a strain because we want to take law enforcement, we want to run with the stuff, but when you can't even get those basic answers or questions answered, it causes problems. And that's what we had in this case. So guys, we will be back in a couple hours. I would say by 2 o'clock this afternoon, we'll be ready for a legitimate live. I'm going to be ready for a legitimate. I wish I would have brought my computer though. I kind of kicked myself in the ass. I won't leave the house without my computer again. This was a nightmare. Because the last time I left without a computer, I had 2 phones, but I didn't break my phone. But when I broke my phone, I realized how much I really did need my computer. So, all right, guys, we'll see you on the flip side. I love you. God bless you. We'll see you. Don't forget, 2 p.m. today. Be here. Be here. Yeah, I know. Fin Fan says, no shit, ransom notes are fake. We did, you know, there was 2/3 of our audience that still believed in the ransom notes. So we did have a reason to continue to talk about it. We don't want to alienate 1/3 of our audience because of ransom notes. You know, at the end of the day, we didn't know one way or another. We're not law enforcement. And we even though we make these assessments, we wonder if we're accurate in them, you know. We don't know until the stuff starts, you know, coming together. And that's when we realize, you know, our accuracy, if accurate at all. You need to measure that I'm sending masseuse to your room. I'll take a masseuse, Corey. I will take a masseuse because I'm telling you, I'm about to go take a handful of freaking ibuprofen or Aleve. I keep saying ibuprofen, but they're not the same. Naproxen. I have naproxen. All right, guys, I'm out. I love you. We'll see you on the flip side. We'll see you back in 2 hours.